KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. It's the John Kobylt Show. How are you? We're very happy that you're here. We're on every day from 3 to 6, and after 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. That's the podcast. It's the same as the radio show. It's so you can pick up on what you missed. You also can watch us right now live on YouTube and live on X. All right? We should be a daily part of your entertainment, either through audio or video, anytime of the day or night. You could listen or watch. So thank you for coming. Have you gone on the high-speed rail train yet?
I have not.
No?
No.
You know, it's been around 6 years.
I know. Have you?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah? How is it?
Oh, it goes real fast.
Does it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It goes San Francisco to L.A. in, is it 2 hours, 20 minutes?
Do they serve food?
Yeah, they serve food. It's really good food.
Oh.
Left, it was about 2 weeks ago. I forgot to tell you.
Oh, you forgot to tell me?
Yeah, we went up to the Bay Area for the weekend. And that Sunday afternoon, about 4 o'clock, we took a train. By 6:30, we were in L.A.
So it's worth all the money?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. It wasn't that much money.
No?
It wasn't that much money, no. It was cheaper than an airline flight. Yeah.
I meant to build.
Oh, cheap to build?
No, I meant, was it worth it? You know, all the money
worth
that
the money?
Yes, that has been spent to build it.
They only spent $33 billion.
I know. So it was worth it then,
it's
right?
all the way to San Diego.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I just took a piece of it, and it goes up to Sacramento, too.
It's amazing. This is a wonder.
Yeah, I know. It is like the eighth wonder of the world, isn't it?
Yes. Not.
The reason I brought up this delusional fantasy is CBS News, CBS California, Julie Watts, who was a great reporter. She posted a story about why the Trump administration withdrew the $4 billion to build high-speed rail, which happened last year, and why Gavin Newsom withdrew the lawsuit. There's a reason. Let me give you a quick rundown in case you haven't tracked all these details. This is a fascinating story. And, if I had one wish, outside of wishing that the high-speed rail train actually existed, is that everybody in this state would realize that this is the worst run, most badly managed state of all states. It's really a disaster. I'm going to explain why in the high-speed rail case. Now, just to go through the basics again, in 2008, a majority voted to build the train, and it was supposed to be Sacramento all the way down to San Diego, going to San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Anaheim. San Francisco to L.A. was 2 hours, 20 minutes, electric trains, 220 miles an hour. Right now, I know of one person who once took the Amtrak train from Union Station to Oakland, and that was 11 hours. All right, so something was needed if you're going to have train service. And as you know, right now, it's been reduced to a 171-mile stretch between, they say Merced to Bakersfield, but actually it's about 5 miles outside Merced to 5 miles outside Bakersfield. So it'll drop you off at the train station, and if you actually wanted to go to Merced, you'd have to call a taxi. And same thing in Bakersfield. And then if you wanted to get to L.A., you'd have to take a bus out of Bakersfield to L.A. So it would be, let's say you're in Merced, right? You want to get to L.A. It would be taxi to the train station, taxi, train, taxi after you land outside of Bakersfield. Right. Taxi, train, taxi, bus.
No.
How many takers do we have for that? I don't even know if you could do that in a day. In July 2025, the Trump administration pulled back $4 billion in federal funding for the high-speed rail. They said the state had spent $15 billion over 16 years, and there were 0 tracks. And the transportation secretary said federal dollars are not a blank check. They come with a promise to deliver results. Now, one of the reasons they pulled the money was Newsom had never purchased any trains. And part of the agreement required him to buy the trains. So he had no track. We had no trains. There weren't even trains on order. We had not even put down a deposit. There weren't trains like waiting at a factory somewhere. And federal officials said there's no viable path to completing the segment on time. On time now is 2033. And they said that the promise was to connect major metropolitan cities, but now it's going to connect two random endpoints. And Newsom had one of his public fits where he's all self-righteous and offended, saying Trump committed a political stunt to punish California. And then his little mini-me who lives inside Newsom's rear end sued to stop Trump's politically motivated attack on high-speed rail. But 6 months later, California, Newsom and Bonta dropped the lawsuit. And everybody wondered why. Well, Julie Watts found out why. Apparently, high-speed rail repeatedly failed to meet its own deadlines to buy the trains, which was a key requirement with the federal grant money, and dropped its lawsuit after it missed a new deadline it had promised a judge that it would meet. While they had promised a judge, like, okay, we missed the other deadlines, but here's the new deadline, and we're going to meet it. And the deadline came and went, and they still didn't purchase the train.
They didn't meet the moment.
Very good. Grant documents signed during the Biden years required the rail authority to execute a train set contract by December 31st, 2024. California missed that. So when Trump terminated funding, the administration pointed to that missed deadline. All right, you're failing to do the basics here. High-speed rail then assured a federal judge it was going to execute a train contract by December 1st, 2025. And that would keep the project on schedule. But high-speed rail missed that deadline too. In fact, it canceled the board meeting where the train contract was expected to be approved. Multiple sources said missing the revised deadline undercut their legal argument that they could be trusted to meet future deadlines. You think? They'd already missed the original deadline, and if it missed the revised deadline that it had promised the court, then the state had proven that the federal government was right. The project was not on track. Newsom and Bonta could not be trusted, and so the state withdrew the case very quietly. They dismissed their own case 2 days before Christmas. The cowardly bastards. So Newsom and Bonta dismissed their own case 2 days before Christmas. No press release, no explanation for taxpayers, just a reference, one single reference buried among the federal grant documents and court filings posted on the website. And Newsom, Bonta, and the High-Speed Rail Authority never publicly explained why they never bought a train. We will give you more when we come back. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. President Trump is coming to L.A., and 2 deaths have been reported in Michigan due to the cyclosporiasis outbreak. We are going to have more at the bottom of the hour. We're going to check the freeways next.
Summer is winding down, but there's time for one more home upgrade. This August, American Vision Windows wants to help you finish your home projects before fall arrives. And here's the deal. Pick any 2 of our most popular offers. I'm going to give you a list. Pick 2. You can get free expert installation, or a free sound package, or a free upgrade to Sun Matrix, or we pay your tax, or there's no interest and no payments for 18 months. Pick 2 of those. And you can get stunning energy-efficient windows that improve your comfort, the curb appeal of your home, and lower your energy bills. And it'll do that season after season. They've installed over 1 million windows. And American Vision Windows has earned the trust of homeowners across California. Visit AmericanVisionWindows.com. The offer ends August 31st. Restrictions apply. Call or see the website for details. Here's the number to call. 888-771-2188. 888-771-2188.
Southland weather from KFI. It's going to be sunny and hot tomorrow. Highs ranging from the 70s to the triple digits. And I just realized that I said cyclosporiasis wrong. So I just wanted to change that and let you know, John, because I think I came down on you for saying that wrong one time. So anyway.
Wow.
So there we go. See, I can be nice. I can be fair. I know. I confess. I don't know. My brain. I just had a brain fart.
And you're not even Catholic, and you self-confess.
That's right.
That's really wonderful.
Thank you. This report brought to you by CumminsRecall.com. From your Toyota dealers traffic center, we make it easy, slow on the 5 in Irvine.
It's the northbound side of the 5 that slows down coming up on Jeffrey Road. That drive remains pretty heavy all the way to Harbor in Anaheim. Also in Anaheim, that 91 eastbound crowding up at the 57 as you travel ahead towards Green River. Slow rolling in Rubio with this wreck on the 60 eastbound at Rubio Boulevard. Carpool and left lanes are blocked. Delays away from Country Village Road. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
GiveMeTheVin.com, where you can sell your car in a hot minute. Try it. Enter your VIN number, get an offer fast. GiveMeTheVin.com. Their offers beat CarMax and Carvana offers every day. And if they can't, they'll pay you $100. GiveMeTheVin.com will get you your check on the spot. Super easy, super fast at GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Recall 67A mobile appointments are now available in your area. We come to you quick, easy, and under an hour. Complete the recall to get $500 plus a warranty worth thousands. Schedule today at CumminsRecall.com.
This report is sponsored by Whole Foods Market. Fresh snacking starts at Whole Foods Market. Prime members can get organic black, red, and green seedless grapes for $2.99 a pound through September 1st. Sweet, crisp, and ready for lunchboxes. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Lose the weight. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
After a major accident, one question comes to mind. What happens next? That's where Wilshire Law Firm comes in. With over 100 attorneys, we've helped recover more than $2 billion for our clients. Let the firm that's been recognized as #1 in personal injury settlements fight for the compensation you deserve. That's what happens next. For a free consultation 24/7, call Wilshire Law Firm, 1-800-ABCDEFG. Wilshire Law Firm won more top 100 personal injury settlements in 2024 than any other law firm in California, as reported by TopVerdict.com. Wilshire Law Firm is in LA.
Therapy Thursday with Ellen K is a new podcast. Confessions, impossible dilemmas, and advice that hits home. Catch every episode on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Want up to $25,000 in free silver? When you make a qualifying purchase through Golden Crest Metals, you can receive up to $25,000 in real silver added to your account. Call 888-447-7857 now for your free information kit. That's 888-447-7857. Again, call 888-447-7857. Not a financial advisor. Precious metals involve risk. Free silver offers a 10% bonus in silver on qualifying purchases of premium minted coins. $10,000 minimum purchase required. Bonus silver capped to $25,000 and credited to customer account. See goldencrestmetals.com for full terms.
Oof. Shocking time to lose a whole strut.
Ugh. Comedy is not your thing, but I do know that Rock Auto has what I need to fix it.
With parts shipped right to your door. No kidding.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
When it comes to your business, great promotions should do more than just get your name out there. They should drive action. And that's exactly what your business will get from a partnership with iHeartMedia. Imagine your business connecting with music fans and future customers through sweepstakes, ticket giveaways, listener contesting, and local media. Attach your business to high-energy music moments built to help grow awareness, engagement, and leads. Get started today. Call 844-844-iHeart. That's 844-844-iHeart.
A lot of apps like to say they're free until they ask for your credit card. iHeartRadio is different. No required subscriptions, no trial periods, no surprise charges. We make money from our advertisers, not from you. It's the same radio you've never paid for. Live radio stations, playlists, podcasts, and artist stations all in one app. So if you haven't already, download the free iHeartRadio app. Free radio. Always has been, always will be. Now wherever you go.
iHeartRadio.
KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show.
You notice how bars are doing a lot of 90s throwback nights? It's because they're giving up on young people. They're catering to Gen X.
The Gary and Shannon show starts tomorrow at 9.
$1,000 to give away.
Now is your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website.
Fun. That's FUN. Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash.
KFI. Fun. Enter that at KFIAM640.com/cash. That's where you put the keyword. You'll get an email if you win. Check your junk and spam folder. Winning keyword every hour, every weekday from 9 in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Next chance to win with us here, 4:20 at KFI. John Kobylt Show, KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk radio. And we're going through a new report from CBS News California, Julie Watts. And they have discovered why the California High-Speed Rail Authority withdrew the lawsuit 7 months ago. They were suing the federal government because the Trump administration had pulled $4 billion for high-speed rail. And Newsom and the little man who lives inside Newsom, Rob Bonta, both go, not fair, you're being mean. They went to court. And one of the reasons it got pulled was they hadn't purchased any trains. Not only had they not laid down any track, they hadn't purchased any trains. And the train thing's important because that was a requirement to get the federal money. And they missed the deadline. And then they appealed to the judge, and they promised the judge, okay, we'll make our own new deadline, December 1st, 2025, and that'll keep the project on schedule. Cross our fingers, promise, pinky swear. They missed that deadline, too. They even canceled the board meeting. And Newsom and little Robbie Bonta had no legal argument anymore. So 2 days before 2 days before Christmas, they quietly withdrew the lawsuit and dismissed it. Never explained anything. In January of 2026, he just said it was appropriate for us to pull the lawsuit. And he wouldn't say anything further. He said, go ask high-speed rail. Of course, the head of high-speed rail is that suspicious Ian Chowdhury, who was last seen getting arrested and sent to jail because he got into some wild brawl with his fiancée and the woman's daughter. Now, Newsom, at his State of the State speech, said that California is finally laying the tracks of the nation's first high-speed rail system. This was in January. He said, California is finally laying the tracks. Now, I'm not always good on tenses, in English grammar. When you say you're laying the tracks, that sounds like you're in the process of, right?
Yes, you're doing it right now.
It's not the future tense that we're going to lay tracks.
I'm eating a sandwich, right? I'm eating a sandwich right now. I'm not, but you know what I mean.
You're eating the imaginary sandwich in the imaginary club car of the imaginary train.
And it's a wonderful hummus sandwich.
Oh, they're not going to sell those. The state, though, had not actually laid any high-speed rail track. Newsom simply lied. What the state had built was a railhead, which is described in the CBS story as a logistics depot. That's where you receive, store, and stage the rail that the crews would install. So now he did a press conference, one of those photo ops, video ops, where he stood in front of the rail depot and he stood in front of a random train to make you think that, hey, here's the train and this is a train station. But that wasn't a high-speed train and they weren't at a station. It was a rail depot. But all the television stations covered it like it was. Because the only bigger idiots than Newsom and Bonta are the people who run radio news, television news departments, and occasionally radio news departments. Not any current employees here, though. Now, the high-speed rail has an inspector general named Ben Belknap, and he told CBS there was a rail yard created that had track on it, but it's not a high-speed rail track. High-speed rail track, as it's defined, has not been laid yet, said Inspector General Ben Belknap. 6 months after Newsom said this, not only in front of television cameras, but also said this as part of his State of the State address, California still had not laid any high-speed rail. In June, a spokeshole told CBS California that the commitment is to begin laying high-speed rail track by the end of the year. And in June, they approved a team to build the track. But it does not disclose the status of its train set procurement. That would be buying of the train. That line is blank. So they don't even have a date that they can tell you when they're going to buy the train. They already missed the 2024 and 2025 deadlines. Sources say the high-speed rail delays are based on decisions made by Ian Chowdhury, who's apparently, like most of Newsom's appointments, absolutely incompetent and overwhelmed. The federal officials say, well, we're pulling the money because there's unrealistic assumptions. The purchase of the train, safety and performance testing. They looked at 9 key findings and said there was no viable path to complete the segment by 2033. Then there was another investigation by the U.S. Senate, the Commerce Committee investigation. They said California leaders are wasting federal funds and they're guilty of gross mismanagement. And they also talked about the missed deadline. So CBS California wanted to get the other side of the story. They sent the High-Speed Rail Authority 20 questions. 20. How many do you think the high-speed rail answered? 0. 0 for 20. They did not answer any questions. They provided a statement defending the project. That's it. There you go. That's why the money was pulled, and that's why Newsom and little Robbie Bonta didn't even contest it in court, because they knew they missed the deadlines. And all the claims about buying and laying rail track are just lies. There's no rail track. There are no trains. There is probably by now about $17 billion flushed down the toilet. But much of the public still doesn't believe it, understand it. We'll talk more when we come back. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
President Trump is coming to Southern California. He is set to headline a Republican National Committee dinner at Trump National Golf Club in L.A., then head to Vegas to speak at Red Rock Casino. Trump is expected to talk about the economy tomorrow and take a few jabs at Governor Newsom over taxes, illegal immigration, and crime. California Attorney General Bonta is suing the Trump administration over a plan to expand the sharing of personal information from families receiving federal welfare benefits. Bonta says the administration wants to allow sensitive data from the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program to be shared with the Department of Homeland Security and other agencies. The lawsuit argues the policy violates federal law and the privacy rights of Californians. Bonta claims the administration is exploiting the program to fuel its mass surveillance effort in blue states.
To weaponize that data. And certainly we've seen the Trump administration very willing to weaponize the machinery of government, including the United States Department of Justice, and politically persecuting his political opponents.
The Trump administration says the changes are part of its oversight of the program. The extreme heat warning may be gone for much of Southern California, but the high temps are sticking around.
It's going to be hot this week.
Brian Luce with the National Weather Service says those air conditioners will keep running.
Especially away from the coast and the mountains. We're looking at temperatures, upwards of 10 degrees above normal.
Those extreme heat warnings are staying for a couple of days in the desert areas, and a layer of sticky humidity will move in along the coast later this week.
Humidity is going to play a role in that. Feeling hotter.
But he says that moisture from storms in the Pacific shouldn't make for dangerous beach conditions this weekend. Jason Nathanson, KFI News.
The extreme heat is also still being felt in the Southwest. Meteorologist Samara Theodore says there's been no let up for a week.
Over the next couple of days, not seeing much in the way of relief. People just need to make sure they have the alerts on their phone so they can stay safe.
And 2 deaths have been reported in Michigan due to the cyclosporiasis outbreak linked to iceberg lettuce served at Taco Bell residents. ABC's Yuri Benajad says death is very rare.
We do know that they had underlying health conditions, that they were sick in Michigan, and that dehydration may have been a cause here. And with cyclosporiasis, you can either get symptoms or not get symptoms.
He says a slowdown in new cases is now being reported in Michigan. We're going to the 6:05 next.
Did you hear that? Listen very carefully. That's my phone. I don't get any spam calls and no spam texts. The silence is wonderful. Your phone, probably not so quiet. It's ringing, it's buzzing, it's dinging, because data brokers are selling your personal information like it's on a clearance sale. Your phone number, your home address, your email, family members, their names, your political affiliations, even where you bank. All these scammers have all that information, and that's why they're always blowing up your phone. They don't randomly call your number. They bought your information, and they keep buying it over and over until you make it stop. I made it stop with the help of Incogni. Incogni, Incogni. They automatically remove your personal information from hundreds of data brokers and people search sites. Incogni sends the legal removal requests, and they follow up, and they keep monitoring so your information stays off those lists. If scammers can't find you, they can't target you. If the spammers can't find you, they can't bother you. Get 60% off right now at incogni.com/KFI. Incogni.com/KFI.
Southland weather from KFI. Low clouds and fog again in the morning, then sunny. Highs 80s to mid-90s. Metro LA 90s to the triple digits in the valleys, the high desert, and the IE. It's going to be windy again in the high desert and the IE. Mid to upper 70s for the beaches, low to mid-80s inland OC. Right now 86 in Laguna Woods and 92 in Rancho Santa Margarita. Crash on the 605 in Santa Fe Springs.
This one is along the southbound side. It's coming right up on Telegraph Road. Good news is that the 2 cars are off to the shoulder, but we're still seeing some pretty heavy traffic getting away from Beverly Boulevard. The delays go beyond the crash all the way to just about Firestone Boulevard. The northbound side of the 605, that slows in Norwalk, leaving the 105 freeway. Delays continue in stretches towards the 10. Still tough in Rubio. This is the drive on the 60, making your way eastbound at Rubio Boulevard. A crash, carpool, left lanes blocked, delays away from Country Village Road, and eastbound slowing, or make that westbound slowing, pushing back from the 215-91. The drive in Santa Monica, that's going to be tough. East 10 away from almost 20th Street all the way to the 5 in Boyle Heights. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
This is CEOs You Should Know with Division President of iHeartMedia, Paul Corvino.
Today I'm here with Carla Hassan, the Chief Marketing Officer of JP Morgan Chase, a brand most people know and interact with every day. And let me ask you, Chase is one of the most recognized brands in the world. How do you build trust, which is the most important thing, I would think, for building a brand for a bank? How do you build trust with customers every day?
It's actually the only thing we have is trust. When it comes to your money, you got people who are saving
for the first time. You have people who are sending their kids to university for the first time. For us, it's how we show up every single day, not just from a marketing perspective, right? We've got over 5,000 branches where people actually walk into the branches and they're looking for help. And so arguably, one of the first places that our brand shows up is in how our bankers actually treat our customers and our clients.
Listen to CEOs You Should Know on the iHeartRadio app.
Worried about what your breath smells like after coffee, lunch, drinks, or a night out? That's why we created Zellman's, the breath mint for grown-ups. Zellman's is not available in stores, so go to Zellmans.com. That's ZELMINS.com and use code SAVE for 15% off your first order.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
I'm not great with words after a fight, and I'm sorry, wasn't cutting it this time. So I used Smile Tunes to write a soulful ballad about how she's always right. By the second chorus, the silent treatment was officially over. Visit SmileTunes.com and get out of the doghouse today.
Call 844-GO-SMILE to learn about the new Lifestyle Smile dental implants from Lasting Smiles.
Curious how you would look? PlasticSurgeryUncensored.com. PlasticSurgeryUncensored.com.
Termites active? Call Pacific Coast Termite. No tenting, plus 10% off. Call 1-800-PACIFIC.
Hey, follow us on all the things at KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We're on 3 to 6. After 6, John Kobylt Show on Demand. That's the podcast to catch up on what you missed. We are live on YouTube, live on X, so you can watch us. You can watch us on your video screen. You can enjoy the group chat alongside the screen. Go to youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. Subscribe, become a member. youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. All right, so we just went through the idiot Newsom and the idiot Bonta and how they, after what is it? God, it really is going to be 18 years now. And they still haven't bought a train for high-speed rail. And that's why Trump pulled the money. They hadn't bought train. They hadn't laid down any tracks. And now we get to the idiot mayor, Karen Bass. I saw this headline over the weekend, and boy, this is what makes me hate the local news media and just hate modern journalism. So some hack, Noel Goldberg, writes a story, and the headline is, "It's been a summer of bad news for Mayor Bass. Can she reset the narrative?" Of all the words, of all the obnoxious phrases that need to be banned, narrative needs to be banned. You know what the word narrative means to political writers and consultants and campaign people and politicians? It means the narrative is the story, is the big lie, the story used to cover up the truth. Reset the narrative. You know what that means? Come up with a story that obscures all her incompetence. The rising homeless numbers. The fact that the Palisades doesn't exist anymore. The fact that Boyle Heights is still unlivable 6 weeks plus after the fire. Reset the narrative. No, this is not a narrative. This is a true story. She's really bad at her job. She's completely overwhelmed. She's a far left progressive whack job. And she doesn't care. And that's what's the fascinating thing about the Boyle Heights situation. Of course, she wouldn't care about the people in the Palisades. They're wealthy white people. But she got a lot of Latino vote. In fact, she carried 35 Latino neighborhoods. And I believe that if I can find it here, whatever Nithya Raman and Spencer Pratt carried, they were in the single digits combined. Yes, here it is. 35, including Boyle Heights. 7 for Raman, 1 for Pratt. So she figured she had the Latino vote locked up, right? You know, because when you're a member of an ethnic group or you're a member of a certain racial group, you're all supposed to vote the same. That's the rule. That's in the Constitution. And who you vote for is assigned to you at birth, depending on your ethnicity and race. You probably didn't know that. So she got 35 Latino districts, but according to Noah Goldberg, when she attended a community meeting in early July after this lineage fire, she was met with boos from the largely Latino crowd. Why? How could this be? What do you mean she was met with boos? Don't they know? They're all supposed to worship her. Because everyone is supposed to be in lockstep, depending on their race and ethnicity. And so this Noah Goldberg is just shocked at this. Why? We've never seen this before. People thinking for themselves. People looking at the job she's done and saying, wow, she's no good at this. Because it turns out that she doesn't care about Latino people anymore than she cares about white people or black people or any people. What she cares about is her fangirl hero worship. That's why she was in Ghana when the Palisades fire broke out to attend the inauguration of the president of Ghana. That's why she was in Chicago when the Boyle Heights fire happened. She's a big fangirl of Barack Obama, and he was opening up his new presidential library. She's also a big fangirl of Fidel Castro. She went to Cuba 30 times. Got more on that later. So her life is worshiping these socialist communist politicians the way a little boy has idolizes baseball players, Major League Baseball players, and collects their cards. She's got that same surge. Or the way teenage girls used to go crazy over rock stars. According to a professor at Pomona College, Sarah Sadwani, the lineage fire has deeply eroded the Latino support she was getting from the eastern side of the city. Well, yeah, because when she did finally come back from her Obama party, she told all those people that the air is not dangerous. The air quality is not dangerous. She actually said that out loud on television. The air quality is not dangerous. And of course, everybody is gasping for air, terrified that their kids are breathing in all these toxic metals and toxic gases. She was in Chicago for Obama, and she returned to LA the next evening as the fire continued to burn. So she went through. That's why she did go to the cocktail party. She had the cocktails just like in Ghana. She didn't drop everything and run. She left the next day, had to have the cocktails, and the fire kept burning, and the stench continues. And here's another quote from another professor, Fernando Guerrera of Loyola Marymount. It reinforces the narrative of the Palisades, her being out of town. It's not the narrative. It's the truth. When she was in Congress, she did an interview. Somebody asked her what she really liked about being in Congress. And she said the travel. She had taken a number of trips to Africa. That was her favorite thing. She talked about it so much that somebody made her promise publicly that when she becomes mayor, she's not going to go traveling. But that's what she enjoys about the job. She doesn't enjoy having meetings to plan fire coverage. She doesn't have meetings to ask about, empty reservoirs, busted fire hydrants, busted fire trucks. She doesn't go to meetings where she says, hey, maybe we ought to fund the other half of the fire department or the other third of the police department. No, she wants to go out and drink with Barack Obama and the president of Ghana because that's really cool. It's the narrative. Of course, the place still stinks, and everybody's angry, and you should be angry. If ever there was anybody in political office who did not deserve a second term, it would be Karen Bass. I can't think of somebody who deserves a second term less. I mean, she destroyed the Palisades. She ruined Boyle Heights. The homeless bodies still number in the tens of thousands after blowing billions of dollars. She lost billions of dollars in homeless funds and refuses to explain where the money went, and in fact has hired a lot of lawyers, so she can't be questioned on it. Now, unfortunately, that leaves us with Nithya Raman for mayor. And we come back, we're going to play you a clip of Nithya Raman at a press conference that she believes Spencer Pratt voters are frustrated at the city. And I'll tell you what she said most recently on a podcast. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. Another lawsuit has been filed against Lineage Logistics, and we have an update on Jackie, the big bear bald eagle. We'll have more at the top of the hour. We're going to the 405 next.
All right. When you first sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. You have your handshake, they get a commission, they're done, they're gone. You may not hear from them again until it's time to renew. But your business runs all year, and you have the gaps in your coverage all year, and you take the risk all year. Super Sure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, the CFO, the HR manager, the whole thing's too complicated just to buy a policy online, Super Sure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, and you get year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. This translates your current policy into plain English so you finally see what's really covered and what's not covered. Plus, you get a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is really worth so you know exactly what needs protecting. Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, and all your policies in one place. Go to supersure.com. That's supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
From your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. It's slow on the 405 in Culver City.
We're going to start on the northbound side, and that's where traffic is pretty heavy getting away from Washington Boulevard, and you're on the brakes all the way to the 5 merge heading into Sylmar. That southbound side of the 405 crowding up out of West LA from Santa Monica Boulevard, and delays and stretches all the way to Palo Verde and Long Beach. Slow in Anaheim, East 91 from the 57 freeway all the way to Green River, and tough in the Cajon Pass, 15 northbound leaving Glen Helen Parkway to the 138. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Inheriting a home can be overwhelming. You got the repairs. You got the time it takes to get everything ready to sell. It's more trouble than it's worth. So you call Seller's Advantage. One real customer who inherited a home told their story. When we got our inheritance, it would have taken us a lot of time and money and headaches to get the property in shape. I heard about Seller's Advantage from radio commercials and decided to try. Their offer was reasonable. We accepted it. They took care of all the physical effort and legal complexities. We closed within 3 weeks. Call Seller's Advantage, 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-2747, no matter what your reason to sell. SellersAdvantage.com for a free, no-obligation cash offer.
Seller's Advantage will buy your home, make it easy so that you don't have to worry. Sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 01961658. Providence Realty DRE number 01915212.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by iHeartAdvertising.com.
The trade deadline upon us in Major League Baseball. Among the bigger moves so far, the Phillies adding both Luis Arraez, the 3-time batting champ from the Giants, and reliever Brooks Raley from the Mets. New York trades pitcher Clay Holmes and outfielder Tyrone Taylor to the Cubs. Catcher Adley Rutschman goes from the Orioles and stays in the AL East. He's now at the Red Sox, and the Guardians have picked up pitcher Foster Griffin from the Nationals. I'm Frank Aaron.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart. This report is sponsored by Audible. When you start listening to books on Audible, traffic might seem like less of an annoyance and more of an opportunity for another chapter. Audible, stories that speak to you. New members can start listening with a 30-day free trial at audible.com.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth more.
You bet I'm worth more.
We completely agree. At GiveMeTheVin.com, you are worth more, and your car's worth more. And we want to pay more for good cars that give me the VIN, because they are worth more, and so are you. And remember, if we don't beat a deal from Carvana or CarMax, we'll pay you $100. For top price, trust, and ease of transaction, GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Love your legs again. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Tap into happy hour with half-price pizzas and select apps every weekday at Yard House. Find yours at yardhouse.com.
No required subscriptions, no trial periods, no surprise charges, no monthly fees. iHeartRadio is different. It's 100% free. Download the iHeartRadio app now.
Worried about inflation, market volatility, or the weakening dollar? More Americans are turning to physical gold and silver to help diversify their retirement savings. Right now, receive up to $25,000 in free silver with a qualifying purchase. Call 888-447-7857 now to speak with a gold specialist. That's 888-447-7857. Again, call 888-447-7857. Not a financial advisor. Precious metals involve risk. Free silver offers a 10% bonus in silver on qualifying purchases of premium mint coins. $10,000 minimum purchase required. Bonus silver capped to $25,000 and credited to customer account. See goldencrestmetals.com for full terms.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Some apps say they're free, then come the fees. Not the iHeart app. It's 100% free. No required subscriptions to access the best live radio stations, free playlists, podcasts, and more. Download the free iHeart app today.
iHeartRadio.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
On the next Bill Handel Show, ICE collected nearly 1 million people's DNA last year. Oh, I found out I'm related to Charles Manson. Now thousands of people never convicted of a crime are in the FBI database forever. And that's coming up tomorrow morning after 7 o'clock on the next Bill Handel Show.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. Moist line is for Friday, 877-MOIST-86, 877-MOIST-86, or use the talkback feature on the iHeart Radio app. After 4 o'clock, you'll enjoy this. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And, yeah, he is nuts. He does strange things with dead animals. But, he laid into Dana Bash. She's one of CNN's political reporters, and she hosts a Sunday morning interview show. And Bash was trying to bash Robert Kennedy about all his vaccine opinions. And they got into a heated discussion about COVID and about how CNN and the rest of the media just repeated Anthony Fauci's lies over and over again. And I've got a few clips to play. It's really entertaining. And this is the way these smug network anchor reporters ought to be treated. She and her experts. Because Robert Kennedy lays her out in one of these clips where he said, you bring out these experts and they were all wrong. and Fauci lied, and then you bring out the experts all over again to defend him. We'll play that coming up after 4 o'clock. Well, it's just been released, and I don't have all the audio to play, but I wanted to tell you about this, and then we're going to get the audio clips for tomorrow. We just went through Bass and that stupid LA Times story by Noah Goldberg on how Bass has to reset the narrative after she's destroyed major parts of the city. Well, Raman did an interview with the New Yorker trying to explain her campaign. And she said again what she said in June. She wants to attract Spencer Pratt voters. Right? That collection is the wild card collection. They already rejected Bass. How many of them are going to go to Raman? How many of them will go to Bass? Well, let's play you a clip from Nithya Raman from back on June 11th at a press conference.
Spencer Pratt tapped into very real frustrations that people are facing here in this city. I think they're looking at a city that has failed on some of the most basic functions and is still asking us to trust the city on solving even more complicated things like homelessness, like our affordable housing crisis. And they're seeing in that a real lack of trust and a lack of faith and a real frustration about the direction that the city is heading in. I share that frustration. And I think we can use this moment and we can use this campaign and we can use a new mayor in City Hall to demand that change and to deliver that change for Angelenos. I want them to expect more from the city, and I want to deliver more from the city for them.
I think she's asking us to meet the moment. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So you need to meet the moment.
You too.
You're an Angelino.
Now with the New Yorker, she said again, she wants to attract Spencer Pratt voters, but later on in the interview, she says she believes in more government spending to cure homelessness. Boy, did you really miss the point on that, huh? You really missed the point on the Spencer Pratt. You don't need to spend more money. You've tried that for over 10 years. You need to do something different. You spend less money. You spend whatever you've got on treatment, drug treatment, and mental health treatment. That's what you spend the money on. Not building $1 million apartments. So she's going to do the same thing, and she's got a record even longer than Karen Bass. Karen Bass has been mayor for 3.5 years. Nithya Raman has been in office 6 years. She's chair of the city's homelessness committee. 6 years. She's chair of the city homelessness committee. So she talks about the failures. She's the failure. Michael Trujillo, who's a political consultant, wrote today, many of these nonprofits received all this money that is now being investigated. And as chair of the city's homeless committee, I'd say she had a front row seat to the waste, the fraud, and the abuse. And to ignore that or not acknowledge that is going to be hard for any Spencer Pratt voter to align with Nithya. Sonny, we're going to take a look at this interview because it was just released today, and we will play you some clips tomorrow. But and I realize this is an impossible situation because it's her or Bass, and they're both horrible. But Bass is running on everything is okay. I actually did really well. And Raman is running on, no, things are not okay. Spencer Pratt was right. Except if Bass was the most powerful person on homeless policy, Nithya Raman was number 2. We come back. Dana Bash and Robert Kennedy Jr. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Coming to California, I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. President Trump is visiting Southern California and Nevada this week.
The fundraising trip starts in Los Angeles on Tuesday when Trump will headline a Republican National Committee dinner at Trump National Golf Club in Rancho Palos Verdes. On Wednesday, he will deliver remarks on the economy at Red Rock Casino in Las Vegas. The White House says President Trump will use the trip to spotlight his economic accomplishments and crack down on crime, as well as raise money for the Republican Party. The California visit will be Trump's second of his second term. He last visited after the deadly Palisades and Eaton fires in early 2025 during his first week back in office. Daniel Martindale, KFI News.
The news is brought to you by Pacific Coast Termite. Another lawsuit has been filed against Lineage Logistics over that fire at the cold storage warehouse in Boyle Heights. The people suing claim their lives have been negatively impacted by that fire, the flies, rodents, and other vermin that have moved into the neighborhood as the cleanup continues. Those filing the lawsuit include residents from Boyle Heights, East LA, Commerce, and Montebello. A woman from West Covina survived the shooting in Idaho, where a man with a rifle killed 3 people and himself at a recently opened In-N-Out restaurant. He's been identified as a 24-year-old. The woman was there training other workers. Her family says she's traumatized. Police Chief Matthew Hicks says they got multiple 911 calls Saturday.
Dispatchers could hear screaming and reports of gunshots in the background.
A bystander with a gun and an off-duty state trooper have been praised for stopping the shooter from killing anyone else. LA County lifeguards rescued more than 700 people over the weekend as strong surf continued along the coast. That's down sharply from the nearly 2,000 rescues the previous weekend after many people going to the beach listened to the warnings to swim near staffed lifeguard towers. Officials say the surf eased, but conditions remained dangerous. An update on Jackie the Big Bear Bald Eagle, and the center taking care of her is calling it difficult news.
The Ojai Raptor Center says the difficult news comes from Jackie's latest blood work, which they say shows her anemia has worsened. They write on Instagram that their veterinary team is responding quickly with additional testing to try and figure out what's causing Jackie's health problems. But right now, they don't have answers. Jackie was taken to the center a couple of weeks ago after being found on the ground in Big Bear, unable to fly. Jason Nathanson, KFI News.
President Trump says planned talks with Iran are the country's last chance to avoid more U.S. military strikes. He says he's agreed to hold off after appeals from Iran and other Middle East countries and expects the Strait of Hormuz to reopen by tomorrow as talks continue over Iran's nuclear program. But Iran says there are no ongoing direct talks with the U.S. But ABC's Matt Rivers reports Tehran is close to a deal with Oman on a temporary shipping route through the strait.
They do say they are getting closer to a lasting agreement with Oman. Exactly what is in that agreement, what it looks like, will it be some sort of toll system? We're not sure at the moment, but it does appear that those two countries at least are getting closer toward an agreement that would obviously affect the rest of the world.
Trump says he will not let Iran impose fees for crossing the strait. Even as oil prices sink on hopes that there could be a deal in Iran, some think gas prices could hit a new record this week. Patrick DeHaans with the gas pricing site called Gas Buddy and says no matter what happens in Iran, if prices stay close to where they are now, we're likely to hit a new record very soon.
After August 8th, if the national average is still above the $4 mark, it'll be the latest in the calendar year that we've ever seen that $4 a gallon mark still stick around.
Right now, the average price of a gallon of regular is $5.71 in LA County, $5.67 in Orange County. That's the highest level in more than 6 weeks. And the Notre Dame Southern California college football rivalry is back on in 2030.
The schools have agreed to a 4-game home-and-home series. Notre Dame plays in L.A. August 31st, 2030, and the Trojans visit South Bend, Indiana, August 30th, 2031. The meetings in 2032 and 2033 will be played in the first 3 weeks of the season. The teams met each non-pandemic season from 1946 to 2025 in what became known as the greatest intersectional rivalry in college football. USC Athletic Director Jen Cohen said USC's historic rivalry with Notre Dame holds a special place in the history of college football, and they're happy to resume a series that means so much to the entire Trojan family. Mark Groner, KFI News.
We're going to head over to the 210 next.
Lasting Smiles dental implants. And boy, if you already had them in your mouth, you would look so good. Instead, what do you got in there? You got these rotted, decayed teeth. They're all damaged. Some of them are missing. They're discolored. They look awful. And everybody can see it. Now, dental implants from Lasting Smiles are part of a package where you get free comprehensive dental exam, full 3D imaging, a custom treatment plan, payments as low as $149 a month on approved credit. It's their summer smile special. It'll make you look wonderful. You look beautiful again. Mention KFI, mention John, get the Summer Smile special at lastingsmiles.com. Call 844-GO-SMILE, 844-GO-SMILE, 844-GO-SMILE.
Southland weather from KFI, low clouds and fog in the morning. Then it will be sunny, highs 80s to mid 90s. Metro LA, 90s to the triple digits in the valleys, the high desert and the IE. It's going to be windy again in the high desert and the IE. Mid to upper 70s for the beaches, low to mid 80s inland OC. Right now, 84 in Tustin, 72 Laguna Beach, 94 in Chatsworth. It's 90 in Van Nuys. The KFI financial update brought to you by Supershore, supershore.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. All your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed up 693, S&P 500 up 111, and NASDAQ up 540. Slow on the 210 in Pasadena.
Let's start on the eastbound side where delays are filling in right at the 134 freeway, and it remains pretty heavy and slow all the way to Citrus. You've got some more slowing ahead in San Dimas and then through the upland area as you approach the 15 freeway. Let's also check out a problem in Fontana. This is the 10 westbound at Citrus. They had all lanes stopped briefly, but now it's just the right lane that's blocked on that 10 west at Citrus, slowing you down away from Cedar Avenue. The eastbound side of the 10, that's slowing down as well. Overall out of Ontario, coming off of just about right around the airport, you're on the brakes all the way to the scene of this crash. And then that earlier situation in Rubio, hanging on for the 60 eastbound at Rubio Boulevard. Carpool left lanes or two left lanes are blocked now, and delays are backing up away from Mission Boulevard. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
This is CEOs You Should Know with Division President of iHeartMedia, Paul Corvino.
Right now, I have the privilege of talking with Pranav Yadav, the CEO of Neuro Insight. It's a research company that helps marketers get a real sense of what people actually remember and feel beyond what they say out loud. This is going to be fascinating. So tell me, how are advertisers using your product now?
Advertisers, like I said, use it for strategy, product, and communication. The lowest hanging fruit is advertising. I can look at the arc of the story and figure out by looking at people's brains whether they're likely to make a purchase or not based on the memory creation for branding or key messages. I can identify whether the story itself was something that's relevant to that audience or not. So that basically feeds into the entire positioning of how you pitch something to begin with.
Listen to CEOs You Should Know on the iHeartRadio app.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. It's the John Kobylt Show. We're on from 3 to 6, and after 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. And we are live on YouTube. We're live on X, video live. Go to youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. And welcome. I'm going to play some clips because I found these funny. This is Dana Bash is a CNN political reporter and host of a number of political shows, including one on Sunday morning. And she ended up interviewing, it turned into a wild debate with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's the Health and Human Services Secretary. And RFK now sets a lot of vaccine policy and has a lot to say on Anthony Fauci and COVID. And what he does is he calls on Dana Bash to her face for all the wacko reporting, hysterical reporting that all the news media did during the COVID lockdowns. We now know that Fauci lied a lot, made things up. There was no scientific basis for wearing masks. There was no scientific basis to keep yourself 6 feet apart. The vaccine worked on people, but the vaccine, remember, only worked for a time. And it didn't stop transmission from one person to the next. So there's all this nonsense. And as we know, the disease, the COVID disease, primarily killed the very old or the very sick. And most of us really weren't at risk of anything terrible happening. But Fauci was obviously drunk on his power. And he did so many bad things that Biden gave him an absolute pardon for things going back to 2014. And now when he went before the Senate last week, he issued the Fifth Amendment 111 times to protect himself. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a standard that if somebody gets a full pardon from the president and invokes the First Amendment, the Fifth Amendment 111 times, you're guilty of something, and you know you're guilty of something. You're probably guilty of a lot of things, because a blanket pardon and 111 invocations of the Fifth Amendment, okay. Or he could have just answered the questions truthfully, but I guess that would have created problems. So Fauci turned out to be a total fraud, and the news media is now really embarrassed because they turned him into this saint. One thing I read about Fauci's diaries, there's like, I don't know how many thousands of pages in the diaries, but he bragged about convincing the mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio, to shut everything down. And he also bragged about talking to one of Gavin Newsom's aides to shut everything down here. So that's why our economy was ruined. That's why thousands of businesses went out of business. That's why our kids didn't get educated for 20 months. It was Fauci's recommendations to Newsom. And of course, Fauci, the slippery weasel, said, well, I didn't issue the lockdown orders. No. But you were elevated on this godlike pedestal. And when you issued your commandments on the stone tablets, it gave control freaks like Newsom cover to ruin everybody's life. Because a lot of these progressives who've become now socialist communists, what really gets their heart beating faster is the ability to control people's private lives. That's really what they got into the business for, not to help people. Do you think for a minute Gavin Newsom cares if you live or die? We saved lives. He didn't care. He doesn't care about any of us living or dying. He got off on the power trip. So Dana Bash takes on RFK here. And because RFK will shoot straight on this. And let's see. Let's go to cut number 3, because this is where they start arguing about Fauci.
He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts. And now you're rolling out the experts again to talk about something that you have no personal knowledge of.
Okay, well, guess what? That is my job, to talk to people.
Your job is to
Am I allowed to talk?
To the American
yes,
public.
yes. And my job is to get as much information as I can.
And
what we were doing,
skepticism.
What we were doing in COVID and still, with regard to these vaccines, is getting the best information, the best science that we can, and putting it out there. And sir, what you are doing is causing information to be out there that is not accurate.
Who was lying to
the national?
No, they weren't trying. Dana Bash wasn't trying to get the best science that they could. They just simply repeated what the government says, never questioning that Fauci either didn't know what he was talking about, making it up, lying about it. And again, the big sin, too, is he was financing the gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab, which produced the virus that got loose. And that's what I can't stand about the news media. They just report what the government says. They're like government stenographers. They don't go looking for the truth. Well, we have experts. Yeah, the experts are in the government. And remember, they were shutting everybody down online who dared to contradict, including journalists who said, wait a second, I've got sources that say something else here. We come back, they get into a series of crazy vaccine debates. Let's go to Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. LA County and federal law enforcement officials say they've recovered more than 1,300 pounds of meth A rattlesnake has been found hiding in some kids' toys in Calabasas. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour. We will check the freeways next.
GiveMeTheVIN.com, where you can sell your car in a hot minute. You ought to try it. Enter your VIN number. Get an offer fast. GiveMeTheVIN.com. There'll be CarMax and Carvana offers every day. And if they can't, they'll pay you $100. So do this. GiveMeTheVIN.com. And
Sell us your car.
No. They're so anxious.
You paused.
Yes, you paused. There's a period.
All right.
There's a full stop, as Gavin Newsom would say.
He's meeting the moment,
I'm
John.
meeting the moment. No, he's meeting the moment.
He's meeting the moment.
I missed the moment. Anyway, with GiveMeTheVIN.com, you get your check on the spot. Super easy, super fast. GiveMeTheVIN.com, America's best car buyer. All right, now you can sing. Go ahead.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy, slow on the 10 in Santa Monica.
It's the eastbound side that's loading up, getting away from 20th Street. You remain on the brakes across Mid-City all the way to the 5 in Boyle Heights. It's also tough on the 5. This is southbound overall out of Burbank from about Alameda. On the brakes and stretches all the way to the 605. And I'm also looking at the 405 in Irvine. Northbound is crowded away from the 133 all the way to Brookhurst in Fountain Valley. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
I just opened a new account at Infinity Bank in Orange County, and it was the seamless, just the easiest process to switch to them. Victor Guerrero is the president, and he'll talk to you anytime, any day. I met with him. Great guy. And here's his number. Call Victor, 657-223-1000, 657-223-1000, and take advantage of the limited time rate promotion with their money market account. It's one of the best rates in the United States. Call 657-223-1000 and ask for Victor. Infinity Bank, member FDIC.
I'm not great with words after a fight, and I'm sorry, wasn't cutting it this time. So I used Smile Tunes to write a soulful ballad about how she's always right. By the second chorus, the silent treatment was officially over. Visit smiletunes.com and get out of the doghouse today.
This is Sarah Spain with the latest from iHeart Women's Sports. Presented by iHeartAdvertising.com.
Japan's Shiho Kawaki won the AIG Women's Open in England on Sunday, her first ever major title. Kawaki beat Germany's Esther Henseleit in a sudden death playoff, sealing the deal with a par on the second extra hole. U.S. pro Nelly Korda and Thailand's Gino Titakun were two of the favorites heading in. They ended the weekend tied for fourth. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart. This report is sponsored by Amazon Autos. Add car to cart.
Picture this. You're on magician duty at your kid's birthday, and it's also car shopping day. Sounds tough, right? Not with Amazon Autos. Shop for your car online, pick it up at the dealership, so you can get back to making magic. Visit Amazon.com/autos.
Hey, it's Conway here for Cars for Kids. We've donated 2 vehicles to Cars for Kids, and man, was it easy. Cars for Kids has been around for 30 years, and they know what they're doing. I recently saw firsthand one of their summer programs going on right now where they have over 1,400 kids. I saw hundreds of kids in the camp, and they couldn't thank Cars for Kids enough for making this incredible opportunity possible. So when you donate a car, you're helping real kids thrive this summer. CarsForKids.org. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. KARS, Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
Free shouldn't come with a catch. With iHeartRadio, it doesn't. No monthly fees, no trial periods. Radio, music, podcasts. Download the free iHeartRadio app now.
If you run a business in this community, you know what a huge moment back to school is. And that's why you should consider joining iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher program. Celebrating local educators throughout August, it's a great way for your business to connect with families and be part of a message your next customers already care about. In fact, 85% of consumers say when a brand supports teachers, they want to support that brand. Get your business into the back-to-school conversation today. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com.
Recall 67A mobile appointments are now available in your area. We come to you quick, easy, and under an hour. Complete the recall to get $500 plus a warranty worth thousands. Schedule today at CummonsRecall.com.
Have you been avoiding shorts or swimsuits because of painful varicose or embarrassing spider veins? Is that how you want to live? West Medical can help. Treatments may be covered by most PPO insurance plans, including Anthem Blue Cross, Aetna, Cigna, United Healthcare, and more. Don't ignore leg pain, swelling, or bulging veins. Call 1-800-WEST Medical for your free consultation or visit westmedical.com today. Isn't it time to feel incredible?
Feel incredible. 1-800-WEST Medical.
A lot of apps like to say they're free until they ask for your credit card. iHeartRadio is different. No required subscriptions, no trial periods, no surprise charges. We make money from our advertisers, not from you. It's the same radio you've never paid for. Live radio stations, playlists, podcasts, and artist stations, all in one app. So if you haven't already, download the free iHeartRadio app. Free radio. Always has been, always will be. Now wherever you go.
iHeartRadio.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
You've heard Newsom come out against it. Becerra says it's a bad idea.
But the rest of the Democratic Party says they support the billionaire tax.
Now, the union that pushed it isn't getting support from the rest of their own union.
What organizers say about the chance of sticking it to the ultra-wealthy. Tomorrow at noon on Monks and Merrill, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
Oh, $1,000 giveaway now.
Now is your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Dollar. That's DOLLAR. Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash.
KFI.
Dollar is the word. Enter it at KFIAM640.com/cash. If you win, you get an email. Check your junk and spam folder. There's a winning keyword every hour, every weekday from 9 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. Next chance to win here, 5:20 at KFI. All right, we continue. Dana Bash versus Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on Dana Bash's Sunday morning program. And RFK Jr. just laid into her and the media and Fauci over all the COVID nonsense, saying, Fauci was lying. The government was lying. A lot of this COVID restrictions were nonsense, and you just repeated it. And, no, we were getting the best scientific evidence. And the truth is, and I've been yelling about this not only over COVID, but everything else over the years. No, the media is our primary source of information for what the government does and why it does it. And generally, and this is certainly true in California, from Sacramento to LA, they just report what the government says. They don't question it. They don't ask, is it true? Does it work? They don't. Government experts say. That's what they hide behind. They all hide behind experts. And the experts are often wrong. Now we're going to go through, let's do cut number one. This is going to be a series of cuts where they argue about vaccines and COVID policy and all this stuff. Do cut number one here.
Are you also trying to find out how it interacts with people's DNA, what's predisposed to have an autistic child?
Oh,
are
autism.
You doing both?
Yeah, but Dana, you probably don't understand this because you're not a scientist. But genes
you're not either.
Genes don't cause epidemics.
I understand genes.
They can provide a vulnerability.
A gene provides environmental. That's what I'm asking. Are you studying the environmental
We're looking
exposure?
at all the different environmental exposures, but your statement, you have been fooled. Your statement that this has been studied is not true. It's categorically not true. Not for any of this stuff.
It is considered.
Considered by who?
By every scientist who has studied this.
That is not true. I can give you hundreds of scientists who have looked at this.
So on the one hand, do you understand why people aren't getting
Academy of Sciences? What greater authority?
Do you understand why people are not getting measles vaccines? Because they're hearing you say that it could cause
You're trying
autism.
to change the subject.
I'm not. It's very much related.
Show me one of the studies that's been done on the first 8 the vaccines during the first 6 months of life. You will not find them. The National Academy of Sciences.
So if that's the case, then why are you telling people to get the measles vaccine?
Because that is one of the vaccines that has been studied.
Okay.
It's the only one that has been studied.
Do you want people to get the MMR vaccine?
Yeah, I said that already.
Okay, so
I know you're flustered now, and it is.
I'm not flustered at all.
Because
I am
people have
frustrated.
not been honest.
The
with
reason
you.
I'm frustrated is because you are the HHS. You are the HHS secretary, and you are talking about things that lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country, and it is something that causes problems for people when there is not anything.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth, and the truth is that there is study after study after study. It's one of the most studied things out there in science.
You're repeating
and it
it
is
like a parrot. You're repeating it like a parrot. I've actually read the science. Let's come back here and debate the science.
I'm not debating this view.
Of course you won't.
No, because I'm not
all
debating.
You know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing, about natural immunity, about the transmission from the vaccine, about the source of COVID. He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts.
And that is true. You weren't allowed to contest Fauci. You weren't allowed to contest any of the COVID policies, the lockdowns, none of that. They would say, oh, you're trying to kill grandmothers and grandfathers. The truth is, the thing it should not have caught the government by surprise. The Chinese had an outbreak that went on for several months before it hit here. Mistake that Trump made is they didn't shut off all the flights from China. Probably wouldn't have made a difference anyway. Do you know 97% of America got the virus? But a huge percentage of people just didn't show any symptoms. But the virus was going to do what it was going to do. That's the nature of these pandemics. Almost everybody was going to get it. I never had any symptoms. Maybe I got it. Maybe I didn't. I didn't have any symptoms.
Well, because you never tested either.
Well, I never tested because I never got sick to test.
Yeah, but if you had a cold, you still wouldn't have tested to see if it was a cold or if it was COVID.
No, because I thought COVID had more intense array of symptoms. I don't remember having a cold during that time, but if I did, no, I wasn't going to run. First of all, I was terrified of that stick going up my nose.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You know how many times I had that stick up my nose?
Well, if that's your thing.
It's not my thing.
No, and that's true. I developed, we were joking about your phobias. I have a phobia, and I know this is going to sound like I'm trying to be funny, and I'm not. I don't like things inserted into me. I really don't. And I avoid medical procedures where something is going to go up an opening.
Okay.
Any opening. For any reason.
We get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
There's
probably
only so many openings. I think we understand.
I know. And I probably would rather die of the disease than have, some implement being stuck in an opening, because that's always uncomfortable. It's never a good thing. Anyway, they went on for that for quite some time. But I enjoyed it because just for the simple fact is nobody ever pushes back. And often she didn't know what to state because she and the rest of the reporters and the rest of the anchors, nobody reads the science. Believe me, I know enough about television. My wife was in television for a long time. I've been on enough television shows. They don't read the science. They don't know about the research. They trust the experts. They trust what's written in front of them. He's right. Somebody tells you something, somebody prints it up in front, it's on the teleprompter, you end up reading it. That is 99% of what you see on television is, a producer, a news director, and those people right now, it's almost all progressive people, all crazy progressive people. So they put their slop on the teleprompter. The anchor reads it because, hey, they make a lot of money. They get really well known. And not only are they not scientists, they have no interest in any of this. Most of these people are not intellectuals. They don't go home craving knowledge. They're not reading research papers. and the way people trust television anchors for the medical news. And I know somebody who does some research, and he'll just turn red and his head pops off when he talks about the way he sees how the news media covers scientific research. He said it's really bad. It's and it's really misleading, and it's meant to sensationalize. It's meant to create hysteria. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour news.
LA County and federal law enforcement officials say they have recovered more than 1,300 pounds of meth worth about $12 million. They say it's part of a joint investigation they started back in January into a drug trafficking operation organized by the Sinaloa cartel in LA. They say investigators also found a secret meth lab in a remote desert area in LA County, as well as 20,000 fentanyl pills. The news is brought to you by Seller's Advantage. The LAPD is trying to figure out who shot and killed a guy found lying in the street in a residential part of Van Nuys. A person looking for a parking spot early this morning saw the body. A police spokesperson says the man had been shot in the head.
Your homicide detectives here in LAPD, and especially San Fernando Valley, they're the best at what they do, and our clearance rate shows for that. So as alarming as this is, I'm confident that we'll figure out what happened.
Neighbors say that part of town is usually pretty quiet. A rattlesnake has been found hiding in some kids' toys in Calabasas.
The kids were not home at the time and no one was injured. Los Angeles County firefighters responded to the home over the weekend. Last month, a girl in Santa Clarita was bitten when she picked up an Amazon package in her yard that was covering up a rattlesnake. She's expected to recover. Mark Mayfield, KFI News.
No rest for those air conditioners this week in Southern California. The extreme heat that was baking the coastal areas may be gone for now, but just because it's not officially labeled as extreme doesn't mean it's not hot.
This is pretty much our traditional, warmest month of the year here in Southern California. But yeah, we are seeing temperatures that are above those normal values.
Meteorologist Brian Lewis with the National Weather Service says you can expect temps up to 10 degrees hotter than normal. The extreme heat is sticking around for a few days in the desert areas, and the humidity should return for most of Southern California later this week, making it feel even hotter. President Trump says he's called off more strikes against Iran, so a new, what he calls last chance round of talks can happen. He says Iran has been negotiating, even though Tehran is denying that.
I want to give them every last chance before decapitation. Very tough to do what we have planned, still planned. We'll see what happens.
He says Iran needs to agree to a deal or face major attacks. Going to the 210 next.
When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line for them. They get a handshake, a commission, they're done. You may not hear from them again until it's time to renew. But your business runs all year, and you're stuck with the gaps and the risk all year. Super Sure is the way to go. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, the CFO, or the HR manager, the whole thing can be too complicated just to buy a policy online. Super Sure is the super agency built for you. Licensed in every state for your business insurance and your employee benefits, and all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts, which translates your current policy into plain English so you can see what's covered and what's not. And then you get a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know exactly what needs protecting. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, and all your policies in one place. Supersure.com, supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Southland weather from KFI, low clouds and fog in the morning, then sunny and hot, 80s to mid-90s, Metro LA, 90s to the triple digits for the valleys, the high desert, and the IE. It's going to be windy again in the high desert and the IE, mid to upper 70s at the beaches, low to mid-80s for inland OC. Right now it's 79 in San Juan Capistrano and 85 in Stanton. Crash on the 210 in Sylmar.
So this is on the eastbound side coming up just before Osborne. So we're going to adjust that location to Lakeview Terrace, but the two right lanes are blocked and big delays are served up here getting away from the 118 freeway. Little spectators slowing on that westbound side. So watch out for Some brake lights getting away from Foothill Boulevard as you make your way westbound towards the 118. Also, let's check out the 5 in Sun Valley. This is northbound slowing, and that's keeping you on the brakes, getting away from Penrose. You're on and off ahead all the way to the 14 freeway, making that 14 North connection into Santa Clarita. Well, northbound slowing and stretches leaving the 5. And that looks a lot better by the time you make your way past Soledad Canyon Road. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Good credit, bad credit, or first-time buyer, Gardena Nissan is here to help. No dealer markups on new Nissan vehicles, financing solutions that work for you, and honest pricing you can trust. Stop in today for the best selection and pricing. Visit Gardena Nissan today.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years. I would try drugstore insoles and supports.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, we know the search for pain relief can feel like a hopeless ordeal.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections. I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
At the Good Feet store, we hear stories every day of all kinds of cheap inserts, expensive shoes, and other failed remedies people have tried that just didn't work.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked. And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I'm so glad I met Good Feet. That changed my life.
Don't lose hope. Give the Good Feet store a try. We have 11 area locations. Find the one closest to you at goodfeet.com.
Therapy Thursday with Ellen Kay is a new iHeart podcast where secrets come out, emotions run high, and no topic is off limits. Listen now on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Want up to $25,000 in free silver? Where you make a qualifying purchase through Golden Crest Metals, you can receive up to $25,000 in real silver added to your account. Call 888-447-7857 now for your free information kit. That's 888-447-7857. Again, call 888-447-7857. Not a financial advisor. Precious metals involve risk. Free silver offers a 10% bonus in silver on qualifying purchases of premium minted coins. $10,000 minimum purchase required. Bonus silver capped to $25,000 and credited to customer account. See goldencrestmetals.com for full terms.
Call 844-GO-SMILE to learn about the new Lifestyle Smile dental implants from Lasting Smiles.
Have questions about plastic surgery? Get trusted answers from Dr. Raban at plasticsurgeryuncensored.com.
This August, choose any 2 offers from American Vision Windows. Give them a call or visit the website today.
Do you want to sell your house now? Tired of waiting for the real estate market to improve? Considered selling to a cash buyer but don't know where to start?
We decided to give Wedgwood Homes a call.
The best one we found was Wedgwood Homes.
I highly recommend Wedgwood Homes. Whether downsizing, relocating, selling an inherited property, or just needing cash quickly, Wedgwood Homes buys homes for cash with no fees, no commissions, no hassles. Skip the traditional listing. Avoid the time and cost of repairs, cleanings, and showings.
The money and the time involved in getting the house ready would not be an easy task. Wedgwood Homes answered all our questions.
There are no gotcha moments.
And they were the best. They were accommodating. They were fast.
Wedgwood Homes offers are firm. No strings, no multiple showings, no last-minute changes or canceled contracts like other cash buyers.
Wedgwood Homes is just fantastic.
I highly recommend Wedgwood Homes. Call Wedgwood Homes today for a no-obligation all-cash offer. 800-307-2010. Southern California's trusted homebuyer for over 40 years. 800-307-2010. 800-307-2010 or wedgwoodhomes.com.
I definitely tune in to KFI for news. If I turn on the radio, they're going to be talking about it.
It's the go-to station for me.
Listen to KFI. I didn't hear that on the news. You won't. You can't just get everything off of local news and TikTok, right?
People are so quick to go to their podcasts nowadays, but this is a great way to get up-to-date news, be engaged in your community, to know what's happening locally.
It's very unique and different. It's part of Southern California. It gets me through the day.
KFI, AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. It's the John Kobylt Show, and we're always here from 3 to 6, Monday through Friday. After 6 o'clock, whatever you missed, you go to John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. And what else? Oh, we're live on YouTube. Yes, and we're live on X, so you could watch the video of the show. In just a minute, I'm going to tell you. I've said this for a long time. The truth about anything, any major long-running event that affects our lives, usually takes about 5 years to get to the truth, and it did. Eventually, somebody writes a book. There's some kind of investigation. Somebody decides they can't live with the secret anymore. And as we're seeing with the Fauci and COVID situation, now the truth is coming out. And it confirms a lot of suspicions that skeptical people had. And one point that Robert Kennedy made in his debate with Dana Bash, and we played some clips before, is he's telling her, your job is to be skeptical. Your job is not to say, we're reporting the best information we have, because all your information comes from the government. You're supposed to be skeptical, my God, of the government more than anything else. And that's what's been lost in the media. They're not skeptical of what the government says because they're in bed with them. They got the same ideology. Let me give you, and I'm gonna get to another example of this coming up in just a moment, and it has to do with the riots from, was that last summer, or I guess it was over a year ago, June of 2025, the ICE riots. Today, Los Angeles. He's described as an LA man by the city news service, Yachua Mauricio Flores. And he was convicted of a number of crimes, and I'll tell you about him in a moment. LA man, according to city news service. Bill Malugin at Fox News said he's an illegal alien from Mexico, okay? So he's not a Los Angeles man. He's a Mexican man that was here illegally. Not only here illegally, but listen to the long list of crimes that he committed. He was sentenced today to 3 years and 1 month in prison. He poured lighter fluid onto a burning CHP vehicle. And then he threw an electric scooter over a freeway overpass near officers. And boy, City News Service, they write these anonymously. There's no writer attached. Whoever wrote this, you ought to be out of the business. Flores was throwing an electric scooter over a freeway overpass during an unruly anti-immigration enforcement protest. An unruly one. See, you're pouring lighter fluid on a CHP vehicle, and you're throwing an electric scooter over a freeway overpass, and that's being unruly. He's got to pay $253,000 in restitution, in addition to 37 months in prison, federal prison, and when he gets out, ICE is going to deport him. He pleaded guilty to obstructing, impeding, and interfering with law enforcement. This was the Main Street overpass of the Hollywood freeway when officers were trapped as the unruly protesters threw rocks, chunks of concrete, scooters, street signs, fireworks, and lighted debris. That's being unruly. Flores poured the lighter fluid. Then minutes later, Flores with another person threw the electric scooter. He admitted in his plea agreement that he knew the officers were under the overpass, and he knew that throwing objects and burning debris created substantial risk of death or serious bodily injury. Yeah. Unruly. At least Malugin got the truth out. And this is where you do the extra digging. Malugin had sources to tell him that, hey, he's an illegal alien. City News Service is some 22-year-old at a desk working, making $8 an hour. They don't think to call sources. They don't have any sources. Now, the City News Service is used by a lot of the local radio stations and news outlets. Fox News is Fox News. Or is that biased because he wrote the truth, that the guy was an illegal alien? Which brings me to this story about Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio went on one of the Sunday morning news shows. And I'm going to play you the clip first. And then I'm going to read you a list of all the organizations that were involved in these fake protests against ICE here in LA and other cities. And Rubio went on Fox News and said the protesters that rallied against ICE, these are the same people that were in the pro-Hamas demonstrations. He says Cuba is paying these people. I'm going to play you the clip. I'm going to read you the list. And in the list, there's a special twist. So play this clip from Fox News.
They were the same people you saw on the streets burning things in 2020. They then flip it around and they become the pro-Hamas protesters, and they flip it around and within 48 hours of Maduro's arrest have pre-printed signs outside the courthouse demanding his release. And then they're out there doing the ICE stuff, attacking ICE agents. There's nothing organic about it. It is funded, it is organized, and Cuba is a part of that network, and in some cases, a critical part of that network. And it's a network they will weaponize against us. And they talk about it openly, about how they will use that network to pressure American policymakers, not just here in the United States like Code Pink, but all over the world.
And all the idiot news stations here in Los Angeles didn't cover it and tell you the truth. They made it sound like it's a local organic protest. We told you at the time that these are paid protesters. These are organizations, and the police will say over and over again, we see the same people at the same protests. They just move from issue to issue, to issue. You know, it's Palestine one week, it's anti-Trump the next week, then it's anti-ICE, then it's climate change, and whatever the issue du jour is. Same people, they'll get paid by different organizations. The ruckus is never normal because I don't think any of us know any normal people in our lives who's ever gone to any of these cockamamie protests. Yet they're covered wall to wall as if this is a momentous change in American society, a crossroads. When I come back, I'm going to give you the list of organizations involved in these mass protests. You'll recognize some of them you won't. One of them, though, has a famous Los Angeles political name. I'll tell you about it when we come back. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. More than 300 residents are suing Lineage Logistics, and a new law in California lets authorities use DNA to help find missing and unidentified people. We will have more at the top of the hour. We're going to go to the 101 next.
Listen to this. Listen carefully. What do you hear? That's my phone. And you're saying, well, I didn't hear anything. Exactly. I don't get spam calls. I don't get spam texts. I get silence. Your phone, probably not so quiet. The reason you have a noisy phone is data brokers are selling your personal information like it's on clearance. Your phone numbers, home address, email, family members, political affiliations, even where you bank. My wife's phone goes off all the time. Mine doesn't. These scammers are blowing up your phone. They didn't get lucky randomly dialing your number. They bought your information, and they'll keep buying it over and over until you make it stop. I did it with Incogni's help. INCOGNI. Incogni automatically removes your personal information from hundreds of data brokers and people search sites. In my case, 334. Incogni sends the legal removal requests, and they follow up and keep monitoring so your information stays off those lists. And if scammers can't find you, they can't target you. If spammers can't find you, they can't bother you. Get 60% off right now at incogni.com/KFI. Incogni.com/KFI.
Southland weather from KFI. Hot again tomorrow. Highs in the 70s to the triple digits. This report brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 101 in the Cahuenga Pass.
So this one has been reported along the southbound side just past Barham. It's the middle lane that's blocked, and delays are backing up away from the immediate delays from Universal's Boulevard, but overall slowing out of Sherman Oaks, getting away from the 405. It's also a tough drive as you roll through Lakeview Terrace. This crash on the 210 eastbound before Osborne's taken out the two right lanes, sending you back off before the 118, almost from Hubbard Street. And in Rubio, 60 East, Rubio Boulevard, a wreck in the carpool in two left lanes. You're on the brakes from the 15. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Infinity Bank. Most banks give you a call center. Infinity Bank gives you the president, Victor Guerrero, to speak directly to you. Call Victor 657-223-1000 or visit infinity.bank.
Anthem Blue Cross and Chicas Verdes are helping students throughout Los Angeles learn how to grow and prepare their own healthy food. They're joined by Sparks and will provide education, recipes, and knowledge to students and families. Learn more at anthem.com/ca/Sparks. Anthem Blue Cross is the trade name of Blue Cross of California.
This report is sponsored by Albertsons and Vons. This week at Vons and Albertsons, Signature Select boneless, skinless chicken breasts or thighs in a value pack are $2.99 per pound with membership where applicable. And Chobani Greek yogurt, 4.5 to 6.7 ounces, are 10 for $10. Limit 30 with membership where applicable.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Worried about what your breath smells like after coffee, lunch, drinks, or a night out? Chances are you don't want another piece of gum or a candy mint. You want confidence and a solution. That's why we created Zellman's, the breath mint for grown-ups, to target the smells from what you eat and drink that contribute to bad breath throughout the day. Now it's your turn to discover the Zellman's difference. Zellman's is not available in stores, so go to Zellmans.com. That's ZELMINS.com and use code SAVE for 15% off your first order. That's ZELMINS.com and use code SAVE.
Tap into happy hour with half-priced pizzas and select apps every weekday at Yard House. Find yours at yardhouse.com.
Want more than just awareness for your business? An iHeartMedia partnership can help drive action through sweepstakes, ticket giveaways, listener contesting, and local media. Attach your business to music moments built to grow awareness, engagement, and leads. Get started today. Call 844-844-iHeart.
If you haven't switched to Pure Talk because you're not sure their coverage is every bit as reliable as Big Wireless, why not take them for a test drive? For a limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited data plan. No contracts, no commitments, just a great deal on a high-speed network with unlimited data from an American wireless company. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Gary and Shannon.
So I just picked up the Vanity Fair article where the woman Gavin Newsom had an affair with. Remember his best friend's wife, who also worked in the mayor's office at the time. I got to one of the first things he says to her at a work dinner where he points at her and he says, "You look good. You've lost the pregnancy weight."
Oh, gross.
Oh, boy.
I mean, Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Tomorrow morning at 9 on KFI AM 640.
I've had this gut reaction that he's exactly this guy since the first time I freaking covered him.
And all she did
was solidify that.
All she did was fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
More stimulating talk. KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. We're on from 3 to 6. Moist line is 877-MOIST-86, 877-MOIST-86. And or go to the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app, and we'll play it twice on Friday, all your thoughts and rantings. So we played a clip from Marco Rubio. He went on one of the interview shows on Fox over the weekend and said all the anti-ICE protests you've seen, they're the same people who did the pro-Hamas protests, the George Floyd protests, the anti-Trump. It's all the same people over and over again. And these are organized groups. Some of them take tax money. And here's a list of some of the organizations that are involved. And Rubio says Cuba finances some of these. Code Pink. We've seen those crazy people. the People's Forum, the National Network on Cuba, the Answer Coalition, Breakthrough News, the Tricontinental Institute. That's not easy. The National Lawyers Guild, Pastors for Peace, the Democratic Socialists of America, the Black Alliance for Peace, the Cuban Institute of Friendship with the Peoples, and this one, the Vinceremos Brigade. The Vinceremos Brigade is this semi-terrorist organization that Karen Bass used to belong to. And some of them splintered off and were involved in murderous bombings in New York City. Bass wasn't part of the bombings, but she was part of the same organization that this group was. Bass made 30 trips to Cuba, the communist paradise. I don't know if you saw, but Cuba is suffering from a major blackout because the Trump administration blocked oil shipments from Venezuela to Cuba, and we now run Venezuela. In fact, Marco Rubio is almost like the shadow president of Venezuela. So we're in charge of the oil, and no oil goes to Cuba, and they're going to black out Cuba until the communist government falls. But the Vinceremos Brigade, yeah, that's how Bass formed her politics when she was in her 20s. And there's many pictures of her from those days. And so you imagine here is you have a Cuban communist, Karen Bass, even though she's black, now up against a modern day communist, Nithya Raman, calling herself the Democratic Socialist. But it's all the same. Among other groups, the Workers' World Party, the Party for Socialism and Liberation, the Freedom Road Socialist Organization, all these groups supply the money and the bodies and the supplies to put on all the protests that paralyze the streets in Los Angeles. And since Bass is a member emeritus of the Vinceremos Brigade, and she is politically and culturally sympathetic to all these other crazy organizations, that's why she lets these protests happen. That's why she was cheering on the anti-IS protesters, giving out the phone number of Chirla, which is one of the modern organizations that has gotten over $43 million in tax money from Gavin Newsom. And they incited a lot of the protest. They were responsible for a lot of the violence. And Bass was giving out their rapid response number. The rapid response number, you got the instructions to go join the riot. And what to bring and what to do. They are always behind these protests. They're posting and filming and putting everything on social media. You are paying for the protests. They're all fake. The media, especially the television media, falls for it every time. I don't think they fall for it. By now they have to know. The police know it's the same people, so presumably the reporters do too. But they pretend like this is some spontaneous eruption from the neighborhood. It's not. It never is. Most people have busy lives. They don't have time for this, except maybe the single men in their 20s, the illegal aliens involved in the violence, like the guy we talked about earlier, who the feds, Bill Asaley, put away because he was throwing concrete off the 101 overpass onto CHP officers. So that guy is now going to be imprisoned. He owes $250,000, and he's going to be sent back to Mexico when he's done in prison. Why you can't see one TV report where they tell you the truth? Here's a group of paid organized protesters. Here are the groups, here are the organizations they belong to. Here's who finances them. These are fake protests, not spontaneous uprisings from the local population. No television station will ever tell you that. And you people at these TV stations, you know I'm telling the truth, and you know the truth, and you intentionally pretend that it's just ordinary people who are angry at the government. And you know it's not. All right, we come back. Gavin Newsom had some theater on Thursday afternoon. He had a group of journalists view his tax returns for a very limited amount of time, and all they could bring is pen and paper. And we're going to talk with Jennifer Van Laar coming up after 5 o'clock. She's the reporter with RedState.com. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Another lawsuit. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. More than 300 residents are suing Lineage Logistics over that warehouse fire in Boyle Heights.
The plaintiffs live in Boyle Heights, East LA, Commerce, and Montebello. They say they were exposed to hazardous smoke, ash, ammonia, and ongoing pest infestations, and say the company has harmed their health and their homes for 6 weeks now. The 155-page complaint asks a judge to hold Lineage financially responsible in the aftermath of the fire. The lawsuit also mentions a smaller fire on the rooftop of the warehouse 2 years earlier. It says that put Lineage on notice of a recurring and foreseeable risk of fire, and the company failed to prevent it from happening again. Daniel Martindale, KFI News.
A murder charge has been filed against the one living person involved in last week's Chino Hills car trunk killing.
Authorities say Jean-Juan Bo and his brother went to the house of their business partner Shakur Eichbauer in Chino Hills last Wednesday, put him in the trunk of their car, and the brother killed him in front of police before being shot and killed himself. Jean-Juan Bo was riding shotgun and didn't fire the deadly shot, but San Bernardino County DA Jason Anderson says they have enough to charge him with murder.
We allege that Mr. Bo knew exactly what the plan was when they went to the victim's home, what was going to be done, participated in what led up to the death of Mr. Shakur.
And it'll be a death penalty case. Their theory is this was a business deal gone wrong. Jason Nathanson, KFI News.
Man living in Lincoln Heights has been sentenced to 37 months in federal prison for pouring lighter fluid onto a burning CHP vehicle and throwing an electric scooter over a freeway overpass near officers during an anti-immigration law enforcement riot in downtown LA last year. A U.S. District Court judge has also ordered the guy to pay $250,000 in restitution. A new law in California lets authorities use DNA to help find both missing and unidentified people.
The legislation signed by Governor Newsom last month loosens restrictions on California's missing persons DNA program. Before, the program was only allowed to identify people who were deceased. Now it can help find living people, too. The program can now help law enforcement and medical officials across California identify missing or unknown people. The law also updates how long DNA samples are kept. Before, DNA from relatives was destroyed once remains were identified. Mark Rohner, KFI News.
The campaign cash gap is widening in the LA mayor's race.
Mayor Karen Bass has opened the general election with a major fundraising advantage, collecting more than $510,000 in June, compared with about $170,000 for challenger Nithya Raman. Both candidates also qualified for hundreds of thousands of dollars in public matching funds. Bass says the numbers show strong voter support, while Raman argues her campaign is powered by grassroots donors, not corporate interests, as both ramp up for the November runoff. Heather Brooker, KFI News.
A former California congressman has paid his lawyer with campaign money.
Eric Swalwell used about $150,000 in campaign cash for lawyer fees as potential court battles loom over sexual misconduct allegations. California ethics investigators are now poring over financial statements as he reportedly used campaign funds for other things like a chauffeur and babysitters. Swalwell dropped out of the race for governor and stepped down from his position in Congress after women came forward of sexual misconduct allegations, something he denies. Jason Campidonia, KFI News.
The Washington State National Guard is on standby to help with operations on the ground as wildfires have destroyed hundreds of buildings. National Guard Commander Major General Gent Welsh says the situation around Spokane is still considered dangerous.
We're still in the fight. There's still a lot of stuff smoking. There's still a lot of danger. There's going to be a lot of questions about when can we get back. It's going to take some time.
These wildfires are being described as the worst natural disaster the state has ever seen. President Trump says newly planned talks with Tehran are the last chance for Iran to forge a deal and avoid an escalation of U.S. strikes. Trump says he expects negotiations on reopening the Strait of Hormuz and create a pathway for Iran to address U.S. concerns about its nuclear program. Will start in the next day or two. But the Iranian Foreign Ministry says there are no direct talks going on between the two countries. And a new artificial intelligence feature for Google Earth was removed after just 1 day.
Google's image generation feature lets you make AI images and add them to actual satellite images. Google said it was a fun way to visualize a house already built on a piece of land or how something might have looked in the past. It featured what Pompeii looked like before Mount Vesuvius erupted more than 2,000 years ago. Journalists created fake images of refugees at the Mexican border, a nuclear plant in Iran, and a hospital with a bomb crater in Gaza to show how it could be used for disinformation on a platform that's used to verify claims and authenticate news stories. Google removed the feature one day later, it said, to implement stronger guardrails. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
We're going to the 110 next.
GiveMeTheVIN.com. You can sell your car in a hot minute. You should try it. Enter your VIN number and get an offer fast. This is easy to do. GiveMeTheVIN.com. Their offers are going to be CarMax and Carvana offers every day. And if they can't do it, they'll pay you $100. GiveMeTheVIN.com will get you your check on the spot. Super easy, super fast. GiveMeTheVIN.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Southland weather from KFI, low clouds and fog. Back in the morning, then sunny, highs 80s to mid 90s for Metro LA, 90s to the triple digits in the valleys, the high desert, and the IE. It will be windy again in the high desert and the IE, mid to upper 70s for the beaches, low to mid 80s inland to OC. Right now, it's 75 in Dana Point, 85 in Anaheim, 89 in Diamond Bar. It's 85 in Simi Valley. The KFI Financial Update brought to you by SuperSure. SuperSure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed up 693, S&P 500 up 111, NASDAQ up 540. Slow on the 110 in South LA.
It's the northbound side with delays crowding up, leaving the 105 freeway. And you've got a slight opening until you make your way towards Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. After that, it's a pretty slow drive all the way to the 5 in Elysian Park. Southbound delays out of Elysian Park from Stadium Way in stretches all the way back to Manchester Avenue. It's also a really tough drive right now along that 101. Even though the delays aren't as stretched out as usual, you've got a pretty dense drive through Sherman Oaks from the 405 all the way into downtown Los Angeles. Now, there's also a tough situation going on in Rubio. Crash 60 eastbound Rubio Boulevard. They're trying to clear it out of the carpool in 2 left lanes, but that drive is solid off of the 15 and the 15 into the Cajon Pass. Northbound slowing all the way from Sierra to the 138. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Avoiding shorts because of your varicose veins? Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Summer's winding down, but there's still time for one more home upgrade. This August, American Vision Windows lets you pick 2 offers: free expert installation, free sound package, free upgrade to Sun Matrix, they pay the tax, or no interest and no payments for 18 months. Get your project done before fall with your choice of savings. Visit AmericanVisionWindows.com or 888-226-9908. 888-226-9908. New customers only. Restrictions apply. Call see website for details. Offer ends August 31st, 2026.
After an accident, one question comes to mind. What happens next? Wilshire Law Firm brings clarity when things feel uncertain. While you focus on healing, we fight for the compensation you deserve. That's what happens next. Call now. 1-800-ABCDEFG. Wilshire Law Firm is in LA.
You don't pay for iHeartRadio. Our advertisers do. That's why it's always been and always will be 100% free. Radio, music, podcasts. Download the iHeartRadio app now.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival,
presented by Capital One,
is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena.
Stream it live on Disney Plus and Hulu. And keep listening for the next chance to win your way to be there.
Starting next Monday.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival is connecting all of us.
Shows, meals, drinks, even a roller coaster ride. All-inclusive 2-night stay at Luxor or Excalibur starting at $330 for 2. Visit MGMResorts.com.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeartRadio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk radio. The John Kobylt Show. We are on from 3 to 6. After 6, we got a podcast. John Kobylt Show on demand. It's the same as the radio show. It's for what you missed. We are live on YouTube. And there I am. We're live on X, too, so you can watch us on video as well. And If you want the Moist line, it's Friday. You can start calling in now, 877-MOIST-86, or the talkback feature on the iHeart app. Gavin Newsom, late last week, opened a narrow window to his tax returns, which he'd been promising for years to release and never did. And he let a select group of journalists come in and look at the tax returns for a short period of time, and they could only bring a pen and paper with them. I don't know. If you're going to release them, then release them. And if you don't want to have them understand what the taxes really are about, then don't release them. But again, this is one of these half-assed measures where he gets a cheap headline, and I don't know if he really followed through or not. We're going to talk with Jennifer Van Laar from RedState.com. She covers Newsom a lot for a long time. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm confused by what our governor is trying to do.
How did this go? I didn't quite understand this process last week.
Well, it was very secretive. He had said to the California Post that he would produce the tax returns by Friday, the 31st. So all of a sudden, around 10 a.m. on the 31st, a bunch of stories come out from a few news outlets that apparently the night before, they had been given 5 hours to these select journalists to take only pen and paper, no electronics, and go in and look at 4 years of tax returns.
So they had 5 hours to look at 4 years of tax returns?
Right. And only could take pen and paper or pencil and paper. Ashley Zavala did tell me that they were able to bring in blank tax return forms so they could just transcribe numbers over to it, because Politico's done that in the past when he pulled the same thing. But I haven't seen anyone come out with more than just a tiny fraction of the kinds of numbers that all of us would be interested in.
And the California Post wasn't allowed in?
No.
Were you allowed in?
Heck no. I might know what to look for.
Yeah. And so we found out that he made about $3.5 million in 2021, which included the sale of his home in Marin County. Then about $1.5 million or so every year after that, 22, 23, and 24. But did it tell us anything interesting in light of this investigation that supposedly the IRS is involved in, especially into Jennifer Newsom's nonprofit and for-profit companies?
Yeah, so what was interesting there was that Jennifer Newsom is not getting paid by her Girls Club Entertainment, LLC, which is the for-profit entity that she does all of her movies through. She did continue to get about $150,000 a year salary from the Representation Project, which is her nonprofit. But the Girls Club Entertainment was losing money all of the years that those tax returns covered. She didn't even get paid at all in 2023 or 2024 from those entities, and they took losses. And so considering that she purchased a home for $9.1 million in November of 2024 and had to qualify for that mortgage, which was taken out at the beginning of 2025.
Let me just interrupt you a second.
The income.
She purchased it under her name?
She purchased it through an LLC that only she and her parents are members of. Gavin's name isn't on it.
Okay, so if she allegedly wasn't taking a salary, what you were saying before I talked over
right.
it, is she wasn't making the income to cover that kind of mortgage.
Even all their income together wasn't enough to cover that mortgage, but especially if she's not taking any income for the 2 years before that, from like basically taking half of the income that she had in 2020 in 2024.
So the thing is about releasing your tax returns when you're under investigation about your taxes. Often that indicates you didn't report all the money on your returns. So showing your returns doesn't show what you didn't report on the returns.
Exactly. So I don't know, and I would have loved to have seen if they were amended returns that were filed or that were given to these reporters, because that would be noted on the form. I'd love to see if that LLC through which she bought that house in Marin County was listed on the 2024 tax return. There's a lot of questions that I have that are not being answered by just the select information. And while I really respect one of the journalists who was there, I don't know who the others were. All of the outlets that I've seen pretty much say the same little nuggets of information. And I'm thinking, you guys had 5 hours in there, and I'm seeing the same 10 talking points. There should be more variety in that.
Right. You'd think everybody would have a slightly different perspective and look for different things and come to different conclusions.
Exactly.
So you didn't get that. But, well, I mean, obviously some investigation is going on because the Newsoms have a major attorney, Abby Lovell, representing them. And, you know, they're claiming it's a witch hunt and all that, which means, and this has been going on for possibly several years. So there's something there going on.
Oh, for sure. And the interesting thing another interesting thing that I found was that the income that was reported was basically what I predicted it was going to be based on looking at all their other 10 years of tax returns for the years before that. And none of it supports the lifestyle that they live. With the money that they made, even in the higher years, they couldn't pay all of the obligations that we know they have.
Is there secret money funneled through the companies that Newsom owns his wineries and restaurants through?
There shouldn't be, because that's all in a blind trust that's managed by his best friend's wife. So I don't know if she's one of the ones being interviewed by the FBI.
I see. Okay. So because that's a black box, but it's supposed to be a black box to him, and it's not something you could use to buy homes with, right? Right. And so there shouldn't have been anything coming out of that wasn't on those tax returns, because he allegedly has nothing to do with it, even though his sister runs the company. So he can't know how much income is coming to that company, and he can't borrow against it to buy a house. Yeah, he definitely cannot borrow against it to buy anything. So there's some money coming from somewhere, because their lights are still on in their house, I'm assuming, and their children have clothing and are eating. So I don't know where it's coming from, but the tax returns don't support it. All right, Jennifer, thank you very much for coming on. There's something going on, but it's hard to tell what. Exactly. All right. Jennifer Van Laar, and she's with RedState.com on Newsom's taxes. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. A toddler in Orange County has the measles. A coalition of 25 Democratic states, including California, suing the Trump administration. We will have more at the bottom of the hour. Checking the freeways as usual. Next.
Infinity Bank, when it comes to banking, are all your eggs in one basket? What happens when your card doesn't work and you have to look at the back of the card to find the 800 number? What happens when your wallet is stolen? Who's the reliable source when you need money, new cards, or assurance that your money is safe? Well, rest assured, you don't have to worry about that with Infinity Bank. You can call the president, Victor Guerrero, and set up a new account today. Victor's a great guy, and I have a new account through him with Infinity Bank. 657-223-1000. No joke. Call 657-223-1000 and set up a new account. And for a limited time only, don't miss out on one of the best rates in the whole country with their money market savings account. Infinity Bank.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny and hot tomorrow. High 70s to the triple digits. This report brought to you by Blindster.com. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 101 in Sherman Oaks.
We're looking at the southbound side, just past Van Nuys Boulevard. A 3-car wreck landed in the second lane from the left. And that drive on that southbound side of the 101 is going to be pretty crowded getting out of Encino from just about Havenhurst. Beyond the crash, the drive opens up, and then ahead you've got some pocket slowing getting out of Studio City from Coldwater Canyon all the way into downtown Los Angeles. Northbound slowing out of Hollywood from Melrose and stretches towards White Oak and Encino. The drive on the 210 and Lakeview Terrace, this is along the eastbound side at Osborne Street. 2 right lanes remain off limits, and that drive is slow moving from Hubbard Street. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
If you haven't had a termite inspection in the last 3 years, don't wait for costly damage. Call Pacific Coast Termite for a free termite inspection from a licensed technician. If you have termite activity, we have the right treatment. No tent, no poisonous gas, no move out. Orange oil treatment will have minimal disruption at home with tenants or your business. Get 10% off, a 2-year warranty, and 90 days same as cash. OAC, serving all of SoCal. Call 800-PACIFIC, PacificCoastTermite.com. Some restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
This report is sponsored by CummonsRecall.com.
Recall 67A mobile appointments are now available in your area. We come to you, quick, easy, and under an hour. Complete the recall to get $500, plus a warranty worth thousands. Schedule today at CummonsRecall.com.
Worried about what your breath smells like after coffee, lunch, drinks, or a night out? That's why we created Zellman's, the breath mint for grown-ups. Zellman's is not available in stores, so go to Zellmans.com. That's Zellmins.com and use code SAVE for 15% off your first order.
Toyota's We Make It Easy sales event is here to keep your summer moving. Get great deals on Toyotas built for any summer adventure. Like the all-hybrid Camry with efficiency and style that never cools down. Tacoma with the power to take your summer to new heights. Or RAV4 Hybrid with the versatility and range for all your plans. Don't miss great deals on Toyota's most popular models. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
What can you do at Toyota.com? Better question, what can't you do? Because at Toyota.com, you can check out our latest models, search our inventory, and see our latest offers. You can even build and price your new Toyota right online, picking the exact model and color that's right for you. Whether you just want to download a brochure or you're ready to buy, all things Toyota are at Toyota.com. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
Tap into happy hour with half-priced pizzas and select apps every weekday at Yard House. Find yours at yardhouse.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Are you struggling with bad feet? Hi, it's Mike from the Good Feet store. I'd like you to hear what Kelsey, a kinesiologist, has to say about how your feet can affect your entire body.
When the foot's placed in the ideal position, everything else up the kinetic chain works better. You have better balance, more energy, you're going to feel better. Being able to move freely means everything to me, and good movement starts with the feet. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that they support all 4 arches in the foot.
So did you even know you had 4 arches in each foot? Most people don't, and most shoes and inserts only support one of your foot's arches. Learn how Good Feet arch supports can support all 4 of your arches. We want to help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. We have 11 area locations. Find the one closest to you at goodfeet.com.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Wake up next to us. Wake Up Call with Amy King. Live 5 to 6 a.m. on KFI. And on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Hi, I'm Bob Pittman, Chairman and CEO of iHeartMedia. I also led the team that created MTV. And my co-founders and I are celebrating MTV's 45th anniversary this month. On my podcast, Math and Magic, Stories from the Frontiers of Marketing, you'll hear the untold origin story from the people who built MTV from the ground up.
I want my MTV!
Something for me that felt like mine. Those are powerful words, my.
Download the free iHeartRadio app, search Math and Magic, and listen now.
KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Hey, it's Conway Show. Today, after 6 p.m., we'll go through all the damage from all that high tide action along the coast over the weekend. Unbelievable. And we'll tell you how long it's going to last. That's all today after 6 on the Conway Show.
We have $1,000 we're giving away right now. In a minute, we're giving away $1,000. Well, what am I supposed to do for the next minute? Oh, do we have a... All right, we'll do it at the end of the segment. Okay. Apparently, something is frozen up here. After Deborah's 5:30 news, let me tell you about how rapidly public school enrollment in California is dropping. we spent a lot of money on expanding schools in recent years, and we gave enormous pay raises to public school teachers in a lot of cases and expanded the number of administrators just in time for the enrollment to collapse because so many people are moving out of the state, and then so many illegal aliens were deported, and so many people have fled public schools because on the whole, a lot of them suck. You know, the test scores are horrendous. You have 60 to 70% of fourth graders, eighth graders, even 12th graders who can't do grade level math or English. So they can't read and they can't do math. And the schools are a disaster, and people are leaving the schools or leaving the state or being forced out of the country. So now what do you do with all these fat teacher contracts and bloated staffs and half-empty schools? Talk about it coming up. It's your money. We've been telling you periodically about Joey Tuccio's efforts in South L.A., downtown L.A., because of all the dogs that are getting tortured and sacrificed, murdered by the vagrants that Karen Bass and Nithya Raman refused to do anything about, and Jim McDonnell, the police chief, they just let these dogs get slaughtered in plain sight. Never seen anything like it in my life. Never heard of anything like it anywhere. Joey Tuccio posted this absurdity over the weekend. It's no secret that South LA is an epicenter for animal abuse. Here's part of the reason. A dog was stabbed yesterday. The owner of the dog went to the police, and they wouldn't let her file a police report because she didn't know the birthday of the person that stabbed her dog.
Okay, I'm sorry. That makes absolutely no sense. I've never heard of something so stupid.
It is. I've got to assume this is by design. They don't want to process the report. They don't want that statistic.
Every single person that gets stabbed needs to know the birth date of the stabber?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're supposed to run up to the guy stabbing your dog and say, "Excuse me, your birthday?" Now, this is Los Angeles. It's just got to be that they don't want the reports filed, so they give you an insurmountable hurdle.
So anybody can go around just stabbing defenseless animals.
Right. Okay. And as long as they don't reveal their birthday,
then it's fine.
They're not going to get in any trouble. Now, the LA Animal Services is also a murderous disaster. According to Jamie Page in the California Post, Los Angeles is killing more shelter animals than ever. You're not going to like this.
I'm already upset.
2,172 cats, kittens, and dogs in the shelters were killed just through May of this year. That's according to their own statistics at LA Animal Services. That's up from 1,600 deaths last year. May of 2025 to May of 2026, killings went up 26%. And Adele Semener, let me correct that, Smenner is founder of the Big Dog Energy and volunteer at West LA Animal Shelter, where we got our dog years ago. And Smenner said, "We've never had dogs put on the kill list like we do now. The second the dog gets put on the list, it's pedal to the metal. We're all networking, texting everyone. It's beyond stressful. It feels like the dog's life is in our hands. And these dogs are getting euthanized by the thousands, which I think indicates that the whole system is screwed up. And I thought they were doing spaying and neutering programs to keep this from happening.
They are. And I think people need to stop buying from breeders, and they need to go to the shelters or these rescue organizations and adopt instead of buying.
Yeah. It seems the whole system is broken.
I mean, that's just one thing that people can do.
Yeah. No, I understand. Now you got cash to give away. All right. We're going to give away the $1,000, and then let's, and right after that, we'll do the news. All right. Give away the $1,000. Let's go.
Now is your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Rich. That's RICH. Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash.
KFI. Rich. Enter that at KFIAM640.com/cash. And if you win, you get an email. Check the junk and spam folder. The next winning keyword is going to be at 9:20 tomorrow morning with Gary and Shannon. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
A toddler in Orange County has come down with the measles. The OC Healthcare Agency reveals the child had a history of international travel, but didn't say if the child was vaccinated. Also, no info on the kid's condition. The agency adds that already this year, the U.S. has seen the most confirmed cases since the virus was declared eliminated in the U.S. in 2000. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Hospital in Willowbrook says it could lose up to $100 million next year under federal changes to Medicaid eligibility and financing. The LA Times reporting that the hospital hopes to get a share of voter-approved money, voter-approved county tax revenue, I should say, that's been used in past years to support trauma centers. Otherwise, it could be forced to close. The extreme heat warning may be gone for much of Southern California, but the high temps are certainly sticking around.
It's going to be hot this week.
Brian Lewis with the National Weather Service says those air conditioners will keep running.
Especially away from the coast and the mountains. We're looking at temperatures upwards of 10 degrees above normal.
Those extreme heat warnings are staying for a couple of days in the desert areas, and a layer of sticky humidity will move in along the coast later this week.
Humidity is going to play a role in that, feeling hotter.
But he says that moisture from storms in the Pacific shouldn't make for dangerous beach conditions this weekend. Jason Nathanson, KFI News.
Democratic candidate for governor Javier Becerra has revealed how he is going to vote on some big issues in California.
Becerra posted on social media that he'll be voting no on two major ballot initiatives in November. He says he'll be voting no on the billionaire's tax and the Voter ID Act. Becerra went on to say that he's voting yes on several measures, including Prop 1, the Veterans Affordable Housing Bond Act, Prop 2, the Budget Stabilization Account cap increase, Prop 3, the Children's Education and Healthcare Protection Act, and Prop 37, Second Mortgage Homebuyer Bond Initiative. Jason Campidonia, KFI News.
A coalition of 25 Democratic states, including California, is suing the Trump administration over the president's latest round of tariffs. ABC's Peter Haralambu says the suit alleges Trump bypassed the legal requirements to justify them.
Trump's first round of tariffs under a different law was blocked by the Supreme Court in February, and the Democratic states argue these new tariffs will meet a similar fate.
California Attorney General Bonta is the co-leader of the coalition that filed this suit. We're going to head over to the 405 next.
Lasting Smiles, dental implants. If you have rotted, decayed teeth, maybe you have no teeth. Maybe what's in there is busted up and ugly. You need to call Lasting Smiles. The dental implants will make you beautiful, attractive. You'll get a free comprehensive dental exam with full 3D imaging, a custom treatment plan, payments as low as $149 a month on approved credit. It's the Summer Smile Special at lastingsmiles.com. Mention KFI or mention John, and you'll get the Summer Smile Special. Call 844-GO-SMILE, 844-GO-SMILE, 844-GO-SMILE.
Southland weather from KFI, low clouds and fog in the morning. Then it will be sunny, highs 80s to mid 90s. Metro LA, 90s to the triple digits in the valleys, the high desert and the IE. It's going to be windy again for the high desert and the IE, mid to upper 70s at the beaches, low to mid 80s inland OC. Right now it's 82 in Laguna Woods and 87 in Rancho Santa Margarita. It's low on the 405 in Culver City.
It's the drive on the southbound side, leaving the 10 that remains pretty heavy and slow all the way to Palo Verde and Long Beach. The northbound side of the 405 also slows in Culver City from about Venice Boulevard. Delays all the way to the 5 merge heading into Sylmar. And it still is a tough drive into Lakeview Terrace. This earlier wreck on the 210 eastbound coming up on Osborne has been blocking the 2 right lanes, and that drive is loading up away from Hubbard Street. A stall in Yorba Linda, 91 east eastbound Gypsum Canyon Road. That is out of lanes now in the center divider, but big delays are pushing back from about the 57 freeway, tough into the Cajon Pass, 15 northbound leaving Sierra, all the way to the 138. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
This is an American success story.
My name is Fareed Yuguptil from Downtown LA Law Group, and this is our story. Over time, we've been able to grow to a staff of over 200 people, serving people all across California. When you give back to individuals, when you have an opportunity to give back to them,
that's infectious. They're the person that's going to pay it back one day, and that creates an environment where people are helping people.
I was just a teenager when I ended up in the streets. Fareed and DTLA Law give to the communities in many ways, including supplies, so I can give back to the community. Today, I have a beautiful family, real trust, and a reason to give back to the streets the same way it once helped me.
you have to be able to give back to people. You have to do it with extreme empathy. And giving back to those communities goes way beyond representation.
Downtown LA Law Group, an American success story.
This ad is brought to you by Fareed Guptial Esquire from Downtown LA Law Group, 540 South Santa Fe, Los Angeles. Previous results do not guarantee the same outcome. This ad doesn't constitute an attorney-client relationship. Visit them at calldowntown.com.
Lose the weight. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST Medical.
Gold and silver recently hit record highs, then pulled back. So are metals still a good buy? Many experts say yes. Gold remains a long-standing hedge for wealth protection. Visit LearCapital.com for a free gold kit. LearCapital.com, LearCapital.com.
If you run a business, you know how hard it is to get your customers' attention. Yet 85% of consumers say radio is the last thing they hear before shopping. Let iHeartRadio help you reach your next customer today at 844-844-iHeart.
Curious how you would look? PlasticSurgeryUncensored.com. PlasticSurgeryUncensored.com.
Teachers make a difference each and every day. Now's your chance to say thanks. iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate an outstanding public school teacher who goes above and beyond for students. They could be one of our $5,000 winners for classroom supplies and resources. Teachers give so much. Now it's our turn to give back. Nominate a teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio, the John Kobylt Show. We're on 3 to 6. After 6, the podcast. Oh, you should listen to our first hour because we talked a lot about why the federal government pulled $4 billion from Gavin Newsom for high-speed rail. It's because they never ordered the trains, and that was one of the requirements, and they kept missing the deadlines, even their own self-imposed deadlines to buy the trains. They kept missing them, and so they made a lot of noise about suing Trump, and then they quietly withdrew the lawsuit during the Christmas break because they undercut their own legal argument. Because it was pretty clear in the contract you had to order the trains. They never ordered the trains. They never laid down the rail. One thing I wanted to mention. Did you see how many ocean rescues they had to do over the weekend?
Yes.
Almost 2,000.
Well, no, that was last weekend. It was less this weekend.
Less? Oh, okay. That's last weekend.
Yes.
I think it was 700 something this weekend.
So it was not quite as bad.
Well, another fake news story here from Channel 7. This is dated yesterday.
Yeah, no, 2,000 was last week.
LA County made 1,950 rescues this weekend. All right, that was last weekend. And then they had 2,000 last weekend as well. Well, in any event, it's been thousands of people. What's wrong with people? The ocean's all roiled up because there's a hurricane out there.
People don't listen to the news.
Apparently not. This must make you feel terrible.
It does.
Because how many warnings did you read?
I need to put on my sexy voice. Maybe they'll
pay attention. Yeah, because it's not working this way.
No, it's not.
Don't people notice, by the way, that the ocean's all
wound
up?
Apparently not.
I don't know. I guess this was Darwinism. I mean, but
they were rescued, John.
The waves are really strong.
Yes.
The surf's really high. There's rip currents out there. I don't know what's wrong with people. There's a lot wrong with people.
Yeah.
Now, the California school system as a whole is losing students like crazy. Do you know in LA County, over the last 10 years, LA County has lost 18% of the students? In fact, over the last 20 years, they've lost half the students. Now, we have drastically fattened the budget for all these public school systems around the state and in the county and in the city. And there's far fewer students. But the teachers are making a lot more money. They've hired a lot more administrators. Per pupil spending is way up. And, of course, the test scores stink. I mean, in LA County, you have, even by 12th grade, over half the kids can't do basic reading. And by 12th grade, you have about 2/3 of the kids who can't do the basic math. Scores are bad in 4th grade. They're bad in 8th grade. They're bad in 12th grade. We have over half to 3/4 in all categories not proficient at anything. Math, science, reading, writing. So LA County is down 18%. Orange County is down 14%. I've got to believe it's a combination of a lot of people moved out of the state. A lot of people gave up on public schools, especially in LA, because they're terrible. And then a lot of illegal alien kids, their families got deported. Santa Ana, which was housing thousands and thousands of illegal aliens, enrollment has decreased by more than 35%. You realize how much money we were spending on kids from foreign countries whose parents came here illegally? We were spending a lot of money. Why? Go to the school in your own country. People are getting taxed in Mexico, for example, so that the Mexican children can get an education. And looking at the scores we have in LA, can't be any worse. So it says here, I guess since you're paid by the pupils, some of the funding has gone down. But the teachers' salaries keep going up and up. Not only that, the fertility rate in the state, it was 2.2 children per woman in 2007. Now it's down to 1.5. So women of birthing age are producing 3/4 of a child. Well, 3/4 of a child less than they were 20 years ago. Teen birth rates have dropped by 86% since 1991. And, but that doesn't explain, the parents in their 20s and 30s. I think a whole generation gave up. Well, this is, I guess, the generation that is not having children, not getting married, not dating, not having sex, not drinking, which leads to the sex. And they're talking to their imaginary bot friends. So they're going to go extinct, I realize. Like the current Gen Z crowd, because they can't make any human connection, any physical connection with people, are actually going to go extinct. And there's going to be no generation, 20 years behind them or 30 years behind them. I mean, you can't produce a child with your imaginary bot.
People are trying, John.
I don't want to know how that works. Because some guys are falling in love with their imaginary bots.
Yeah.
But,
that's your species.
That is my species. My species is awful. I always agree with my wife when she goes on a tirade about men. I go, you're right.
Then conversation's over.
But that's why I should look even more wonderful to you, because I don't do these things. Doesn't work though. Garden Grove Unified says declining birth rates, #1 factor in the decrease in enrollment. I was thinking about this the other day too. These annoying progressive people. I think I mentioned this story a little while back that I went to a play, probably almost 10 years ago, where the couple in the play was living together, engaged to be married, and they were struggling over whether they were going to have kids or not because they were so worried about climate change. They thought it was wrong to bring children into the world. This was 2 hours of a play on this matter, which was excruciating. And then it became fascinating because I can't believe that the whole crowd was sitting there watching it. Nobody was walking out. Somebody wrote this. They were acting in it. This was a real thing. Everyone took it seriously, like, well, you can't have a kid because of climate change. You're going to help wreck the climate. It's like, well, what are you all crazy? And yes, they are crazy. But then I was thinking, well, maybe it's good that these people aren't having kids because their species ought to come to a dead end because their progressive ideas are so stupid and damaging. At least they're not going to be raising children in that environment. So go ahead, continue talking to your bots if you have that political belief system. Looking to see what else here. But I mean, a lot of places have added a lot of schools over there. Los Angeles went on a huge buying spree. They raised property taxes. They passed these property tax bonds 20 years ago, and they were going to build, because at the time they had like close to 800,000 students. And now they're down to less than 400,000. They thought they were going to run out of classroom space in the city of Los Angeles. Now they have lots of vacancies. Half the kids have disappeared, not replaced, because all these Gen Z guys are having sex with their bot girlfriends. Apparently, Clay knows how that works. I don't. Deborah Mark is live at the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. Thousands of people remain under evacuation orders in eastern Washington as firefighters battle several major wildfires. And raising the minimum wage in California may bring some unintended consequences. We'll have more at the top of the hour. Heading over to the 91 next.
GiveMeTheVin.com. You can sell your car in a hot minute. You ought to try this. Enter GiveMeTheVin.com and get an offer fast. At GiveMeTheVin.com, their offers beat CarMax and Carvana offers every day. And if they can't do it, they'll pay $100. GiveMeTheVin.com. You'll get your check on the spot. Super easy, super fast. GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny and hot tomorrow. Highs 70s to the triple digits. This report brought to you by Staples. From your Toyota dealers traffic center, we make it easy, slow on the 91 in Anaheim.
So this is on the eastbound side, and that's where delays are backing up, leaving the 57 freeway, and they continue ahead all the way to Green River into Corona. The drive in Corona on the 15 southbound, that's crowding up away from Magnolia Avenue towards El Cerrito Road. It's also tough for heading out to the Lakeview Terrace area. This earlier wreck on the 210 eastbound coming up on Osborne had been blocking a couple of lanes. It was blocking the two right lanes, and traffic seems to be thinning out through that stretch. I haven't heard back from the Highway Patrol saying that they've cleared this incident, but delays are definitely backing up from just before the 118 freeway, and the 405 northbound out of Culver City remains crowded away from Venice Boulevard all the way to Nordhoff and North Hills. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
If you're looking to sell your home, you call Sellers Advantage, and they're going to make you a cash offer, no need for repairs. They close in days. They might offer you a $10,000 advance to help you move, and they buy as is for cash. All right, you got it? Call for a no-obligation offer at 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-2747, sellersadvantage.com.
Seller's Advantage will buy your home, make it easy so that you don't have to worry. Sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 01961658, Providence Realty DRE number 01915212.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, Just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
This is CEOs You Should Know with Division President of iHeartMedia, Paul Corvino.
Right now, I have the privilege of talking with Pranav Yadav, the CEO of NeuroInsight. It's a research company that helps marketers get a real sense of what people actually remember and feel beyond what they say out loud. This is going to be fascinating. So tell me, how are advertisers using your product now?
Advertisers, like I said, use it for strategy, product, and communication. The lowest hanging fruit is advertising. I can look at the arc of the story and figure out by looking at people's brains whether they're likely to make a purchase or not based on the memory creation for branding or key messages. I can identify whether the story itself was something that's relevant to that audience or not. So that basically feeds into the entire positioning of how you pitch something to begin with.
Listen to CEOs You Should Know on the iHeartRadio app.
Business owners, stop letting the big brands take all the attention online. SearchLocal.com gives local businesses one place to be found, promote offers, post jobs, show services, share menus, and reach nearby customers. 3 popular platforms for locals and influencer accounts too. Your business is probably already listed on Search Local, so check today and claim it before your competition does theirs. Go to SearchLocal.com and use promo word LOCAL for 1 month free and a 50% discount. That's SearchLocal.com. Month free and a 50% discount. That's SearchLocal.com.
Decades of saving. Now you're just supposed to hope the market holds up? There's a reason smart retirement investors are moving part of their IRA and 401k into physical gold and silver right now. Gold has hit record highs. The dollar is weakening, and unlike stocks, you can hold real gold in your hand. Golden Crest Metals makes it simple. A nationally recognized firm seen on Fox Business and CNBC with an A- BBB rating and 5-star reviews. Golden Crest can help you add physical gold and silver to your retirement account tax and penalty free. And right now, receive up to $25,000 in free silver with a qualifying purchase. Call 888-447-7857 now to speak with a gold specialist and request your free precious metals guide. That's 888-447-7857. Again, 888-447-7857. That's 888-447-7857. Golden Crest Metals is not a financial advisor. Precious metals involve risk and are not suitable for all investors. Free silver offer consists of a 10% bonus and silver applied to qualifying purchases of premium minted coins. Minimum purchase $10,000 required. Bonus silver capped to $25,000 and credit is in addition to customer account. Free IRA storage subject to qualifying purchase tiers. See goldencrestmetals.com for full terms and conditions.
I'm not great with words after a fight, and I'm sorry wasn't cutting it this time. So I used Smile Tunes to write a soulful ballad about how she's always right. By the second chorus, the silent treatment was officially over. Visit SmileTunes.com and get out of the doghouse today.
Therapy Thursday with Ellen Kay is a brand new podcast. Heartbreak, hope, and a whole lot of what would you do? Stream now on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Some apps say they're free, then come the fees. Not the iHeart app. It's 100% free. No required subscriptions to access the best live radio stations, free playlists, podcasts, and more. Download the free iHeart app today. iHeartRadio.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
On the next Bill Handel Show, ICE collected nearly 1 million people's DNA last year. Oh, I found out I'm related to Charles Manson. Now thousands of people never convicted of a crime are in the FBI database forever. And that's coming up tomorrow morning after 7 o'clock on the next Bill Handel Show.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio, the John Kobylt Show. In a few minutes after 6 o'clock, we're going to have the podcast release, John Kobylt Show On Demand. It's the same as the radio show. You can catch up on what you missed. And if you're listening now, you may have missed the 3 o'clock hour. And we spent some time on why the Trump administration took $4 billion in federal money from California over high-speed rail. And if you remember, Newsom and Bonta said, we're going to sue. And they did, and then they quietly withdrew the lawsuit. It turns out one of the reasons Trump withdrew the money is California was contractually obligated to buy trains for the high-speed rail project, and they kept missing deadlines. And so finally, the administration says, well, this is proof that this is a waste of time and money, so no more money. They would set their own deadlines and miss them. So they never laid any rail track. They never bought any trains. And Newsom, in his State of the State address and also on television, would just would just flat out lie about it, saying that, oh, we're laying track down now. They never did. Anyway, went through the whole thing. Listen to the first half hour at the very least. I don't, the legislature is such a disaster, even some of the Republicans. I never heard of this guy, which tells you something. He's the top Republican in the California Assembly. He's the minority leader. Some guy named Heath Flora. Never heard of him. Never saw his name. We've never had him on the show. I've never known that this guy even existed, let alone involved in something useful. Well, he's been kicked out of his leadership post as the minority leader. He voted on a bill that would lead to more tax increases in the state. He and another Republican, Juan Alanis. Now the Republicans are doing this too. It's a bill that allows 13 cities and counties to ask voters to exceed the local sales tax cap. Oh, God. But that's the least of him. Now that he violated Republican political tax policy, everybody's telling the truth about the guy. He spent $11,500 at Chargins Bar and Grill. It's a dive bar in East Sacramento. The guy blew $11,000. You go into the bar, it has dead animal skulls and messages in chalk on the walls, saloon doors guarding the men's room toilet. Every one of his expenses since April of 2025, 54 tabs. 54 tabs in little over a year, $11,000, all described as district meetings. And it's him drinking. One meal at Chargins was $1,908 in September, which nobody can figure out because they sell fried chicken, hamburgers, and hot dogs there. The most expensive item on the menu is a $15 seafood gumbo. He's been in the legislature for 5 terms, for 10 years. And he ran up $11,000 in bills at the bar. And apparently he drinks a lot. Everybody is privy to his excessive drinking, said one lobbyist. In fact, the lobbyist who said that had an affair with Heath Flora while he was still married. And he got divorced from his wife. He had this affair with the lobbyist. He was not making his child support payments. This is the Republican leader. He was not living in his district. And according to the lobbyist, former girlfriend, Heath Flora routinely drinks on the job. He's there to drink and be the popular kid in high school that he never was. Another source said that Flora developed a reputation not only for partying, but drinking while doing official state business. He always has alcohol in his breath, not just the marathon sessions, even during the day. Oh, it's okay during the marathon sessions? So now they're spilling all the dirt on him after he's been doing this for over 10 years because he voted for this tax bill. But why was he the top Republican in the Assembly when he was blowing his campaign money on all the booze and he had the affair with the lobbyist? And there's another financial investigation into him involving lobbyists spending money on those behested payments to various charities. Same scam that the Newsom family is involved in. I never heard of this guy. Yeah, that's your top Republican in the Assembly. So what I suspected is that a lot of those guys really don't fight the Democrats. They just sit around, drink, and Screw the interns, screw the lobbyists, and they're having a good time. They couldn't care less about what goes on. All right, we got Conway coming up next. And Michael Crozier has the news live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.